still need to recap the zone. 12 ticks left. One goes down. Oh my god, they're fighting for paint, and they finally cap the zone.
Not very strong opening from Ink Family Tree. Caution is going to have a hill to climb to try and get that lead back, but they do have quite some time to do so. 3 minutes left. Seems like they're almost ready for cooler. The bucket does end up going down. A nice pick from the edit. Their own Nautilus going down as well. Freeslider coming out, getting the edit and the rapid. They're at 2, and that's a wipeout before I can even finish speaking for Ink Family Tree. Not happy to be getting that penalty.
Yeah, and we do see bucket going down already on the side of Caution. They're trying to retake again, but they're just kind of suffocating, fighting this Nautilus, fighting this Dread. 3 go down on the side of Caution. Only 1 going down on Ink Family Tree. Is that going to be a wipeout? No, Sencon barely staying alive, trying to keep this game going here.
Ink Family Tree is about to get through their penalty. 2 going down on Caution, and that is a wipeout, pretty much sealing that game for Ink Family Tree. Very aggressive from Ink Family Tree. I feel like they are always in Caution's face and just never gave them the chance to breathe. Could have been double cooler, maybe could have been the quad suction bomb, maybe. But that is just the first game in our pool sets, so we don't know what Caution will bring out to try and combat this playstyle.
Yeah, and I will note that usually double support would lead to your team being slower, but the way that the Dread and the Zap played on Ink Family Tree just made them extremely fast. The double cooler helping out with that a lot, but also Slider's aggression is huge for those explosive pushes that Ink Family Tree had. Even on holds, they'd still be pushing forward and trying to wipe them out again and again and lock them out, like, just to KO as fast as possible.
I feel like their aggression was just really well put together. Like, their coordination was pretty strong with the reef sliders. They were able to get the splashdowns off and get value. Their edit was able to play aggressive as it should be. I feel like their whole comp, as with you said with the double support, I feel like it did really just work as a unit compared to Caution's comp, where it had the double backline, which so it had kind of or backline mid, more supportive backs, which limits their re-entry tools, which I think may have been their downfall. Also just getting kind of snowballed and staggered from their retakes.
Yeah, I will say running something that gets rushed. I will say another thing that adds on to that is running something like Long Rapid, which gets rushed down so easily, enabled the Cease to just run at them on Nautilus, and that's why we saw the Nautilus dealing so much damage that entire match. But hopefully Caution can turn that around as we dive into game 2 here. We see no comp change from the side of Caution, and none from the side of Ink Family Tree either.
I do think maybe they're just more comfortable with this pick. I mean, Sencon can definitely fight up close, as we saw in that last interaction with the Cease. But here we're on Clan Blood, so it's a completely different game field compared to stalling the zone. As we see Spongy getting a nice pick on the opposing Rabbit. 2 going down, 3 going down on Caution. It seems to be the same tale as last time, just the edit left alive as Ink Family Tree gets that economy together and is starting to advance their push.
Yeah, they do get a ball, finally score here early on, and only 2 go down now. 3 go down, it's just a Cease left. Small push here, but this early on, these points can just be the start of a much larger problem for Caution for the rest of this game if they can't take back mid.
I feel like Ink Family Tree has their stuff together. They are able to get these picks, and I feel like they're just putting Caution into a constant stagger as we see 3 going down. Just as Stanford left alive against the Rapid. Oh, are they going to be forced to back up? No, the Stanford gets the pick on the Rapid, but the basket is open and scoring, getting it down to 52 as the Stanford tries to get behind them and make something happen, forcing Ink Family Tree out of their base finally. And we haven't seen any advancement from Caution right now, as they just keep getting staggered. They really got to hold their ground in the lines and try to together. As we see the Dread going down, this may be a good opportunity, but then they trade, and now it's just a blood battle.
Yeah, complete bloodbath in mid, like you said. Caution does end up scoring, having a second ball ready, but they do start going down right as they get to the basket. And with Senkon going down, that will be the end of a very small push, just getting 1 ball in. And now Ink Family Tree looks ready to push again, getting this will be their 3rd push into the basket with the slider going in. 2 go down. They go to score, they score, and that's 3 down on the side of Caution.
Yeah, so we see the Hijinks getting a nice jump to their teams on top of a cooler. Splashdown coming out, getting a nice pick on Geep. The basket is slowly ticking down, getting to 37 as Ink Family Tree is just holding their ground. The basket does close, but look at this great teamwork from Spongy and Hijinks pinching Senkon, as they're just not giving up the aggression. Even though they don't have any claims, as many claims as they would like right now, they can still really easily get a score as Caution tries to come out. It's trying to make a move, getting 1 with a strike and not quite able to finish off the Cease as the basket is open once again.
Yeah, and they're already in the 20s. There's still 2 whole minutes left in the game. We could easily see these small pushes, 1 at a time, leading to a KO. Hijinks going in, getting a pick, trading out here. It's just Jason left on the Dreadringer, but they're still fighting, and that will be a delayed wipe finally. Caution clearing out the members of Ink Family Tree.
We see Senkon going down, unfortunately, but 2 down on Ink Family Tree. This could be an 3 down is just the Dreadringer. This is exactly what Caution needs to get that push off. But Skaboof getting stuck in the Reef Sliders trail. They are able to get a score off, but 3 go down, and it's just the edit again, forcing them to retreat. Almost a minute left on the board. We still have a huge point difference as the edit ends up getting picked up, meaning a delayed wipe. As Ink Family Tree is already back in position, they're so good at able to get in their phase, and Caution just needs to let them kind of eat into them.
Yeah, but we do see a small misstep from Ink Family Tree. They pop both of their coolers at the same time, but does not seem like it'll stop them as they do end up getting a wipeout, and this will be the game going to Ink Family Tree. Oh wow, I blinked and all of them had just collapsed. Whole team had collapsed. I don't even know what happened there.
Oh my god, I feel like Ink Family Tree was just so upfront. They just didn't want to wait, because I feel like Caution's comp is more like sit back and take it slow, and you can't really do that against comp like Ink Family Tree. Ink Family Tree just really went into it. There's like no stopping them. But Caution did put up a really good fight, especially in that end game. It was just the economy was not sitting right for them.
Yeah, the timings of these pushes always were really, really fortunate for Ink Family Tree, as right as they wanted to push, there would always be a bunch of clam spawns, and that meant that the small pushes of Caution that didn't have convenient clam spawns would only get a ball in, maybe a few clams in, while these small pushes from the side of Ink Family Tree would get so many more points, as they just had the whole economy like perfectly set up for themselves.
I do agree. It isn't over for Caution yet. They can still turn it around and end up getting a good placement. Great showing from both teams. Ink Family Tree definitely had the momentum behind them to get where they need to go. But we are going to be going to a short break as we set up for the next stream, or the next set. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back shortly.
Goodbye. Hello and welcome back to SOS. We are here with round 2 of group stage with chocolate is greater than vanilla versus intimidation factor. This is going to be an interesting set because I do see some familiar names here. Slasher and Tame, I do know if I'm not wrong. Strong European players I've seen. Cool to see them in a NA tourney. But I forgot to mention, I'm here with Melodic. Hello.
No. Hi. Yes, I am excited to see how this will turn out. Going to Shipshape Cargo Company for our first map. Pretty standard. I've seen less and less of it as the few months go by. I don't know. I feel like it's very lockout heavy. So if either team is going to be able to sit on their top mid and keep their paint up and try not to die, I think they'll be able to keep the win. But yes, intimidation factor and chocolate is greater than vanilla. I disagree. I like strawberry. And it's gonna be interesting because intimidation factor is coming back from, I think they're an old team from 2022, if I remember correctly. So it's gonna be interesting to see, do they still have the 22 weapons? I want to see a Jet Squelcher. I want to see Jet Squelcher. If they play Jet Squelcher, I'll be so happy. Or what else was popular in S2? I don't know, Squeezer?
10 to 52 gal.
Well, we don't want to see 52. We want to see Jet Squelcher. But yeah, Shipshape, I don't like it. I feel like it's too small. Let's just get right into it.
We're on zone Shipshape. I love the stage to death. We end up seeing not pretty standard comms. We see a custom or a Claws 96 gal coming out here and a tent umbrella. This is gonna be fun to watch.
There's no
Some interesting weapon picks here. No Jet Squelcher, sadly. But the junior goes down. 2 go down very quickly. Tent drops into zone here, just fighting it out, trying to get numbers advantage here.
Being popped pretty early on, getting the chocolate greater than a vanilla, a nice cap on zone. Junior going down again, 2 specials up for intimidation factor. Zuko getting popped very aggressively, getting punished for it. 2 going down on intimidation factor once again, really establishing chocolate greater than a vanilla on that top mid. Strikes being popped all in one spot. Nice jump out. It's very fighty right here. No one really taking control of the zone. Scrub getting a nice pick on the Zipcaster. Zuko coming out, not quite able to find anyone. And the zone is still on caps, giving intimidation factor a chance to move in with this 10. And they do get the cap in return with a small penalty.
We do see Tame getting a pick there with that crab. The fish starting to move in. Chocolate is starting to move in general. They're taking more and more space. Tame fighting it out here, trying to find a pick. The 10 shield goes up though, stopping them from finding anything. And finally 3 go down, almost 2 on each side. And it seems like very little progress is being made on each side.
With a carbon coming out of the shark, just kind of messes it up and gets punished for it, as intimidation factor is able to get zone again, claiming top mid for their own, and are able to get the cap. 2 down on chocolate v vanilla, as intimidation factor starts their lockout process. And with this comp that they have, pretty likely they can get it, but the carbon comes out of sharking and gets another pick, going in from behind, forcing intimidation factor to turn their attention back, allowing for their own team to move up the zone and get that cap once again.
Yeah, the fish finding another pick here. They have that Zuko ready. They pop it, looking for a pick. Can't quite find it, but they still have that positional advantage here. Still looking for a pick. Can't quite find one, but eventually 1 goes down on each side. Again, very little progress being made here, but that timer's still ticking down.
Yes, the carbon tries to get a sneaky pick on the junior, but it fails once again. Bubble going up in the zone. The bombs, that's a lot of bombs. Getting a nice pick on the pencil. Going down. They're about to get through their penalty. Bucket trying to get a pick on Tame, isn't quite able to. Overall, just getting paint on the board. The tent going down again. Seems like the carbon and Stamper were able to get behind, getting 2 Fighting, the teamwork is the dream work right about now, as Chocolate v Vanilla gets the control of zone again and making Intimidation Factor go 2 down.
Yeah, we do see the strikes already on the side of Intimidation Factor, though. They can retake this. They have Bubble as well. They strike their way in, but Chocolate is still looking for picks, finds one, starts retreating quite a bit, though, as they go 3 down now. And though that timer is still ticking down, it seems like Intimidation Factor will retake the zone and retake mid here.
Yes, it seems that Intimidation Factor's penalty is about to expire. They know that Carbon's here. They're trying to find it, but it gets a nice pick around the tent shield. The bomb almost killing Fish out of that Zuka. 2 going down. Intimidation Factor. Chocolate v Vanilla is making their move into zone once again. It seems they are fighting to get this recap. They are able to get it. The Fish going top left. Almost getting the 96, meaning no cooler. 2 going down. Intimidation Factor once again 3 down. It is just the Slosher left alive, and that is a wipeout for Chocolate.
Yeah, and with this low penalty, they could easily knock this out here. They just need a good pick, and that might be it. They don't have the tent umbrella to help them safely move in, and now with this numbers advantage, they're forced to go with no time left, getting a pick, using the strikes. Can they recap zone? The bubble goes up. They're still painting for it, but they pop the Zuka, another goes down, and they cap the zone just barely.
Very nice retake from Intimidation Factor. Playing really aggressive here, trading out with the splash. Only 15 seconds left on the clock. Their penalty is about to expire, so this is going to be a risky overtime play. Scrub getting bombed out. The cooler is about to go up. The specials from Chocolate v Vanilla coming out, getting the 96, meaning no cooler. Zipcaster coming from behind, getting another. Is just the junior left, and they aren't able to hold the zone, giving the first game to Chocolate greater than Vanilla. What a fight. What a fight indeed.
What a match. That was some very, very interesting comp choices, I will say. But that Carbon was just a nightmare. LaFish was just a complete nightmare for Intimidation Factor. I cannot speak today. Intimidation Factor. It was just a nightmare for Intimidation Factor. They could not get the Carbon away from them, and that ultimately led to them losing this first game, and we just got to see how they adapt in this Rainmaker match.
Now, I do want to note something about the Carbon. I did say that they missed twice, or like they missed some opportunities on those kills, but even though they did miss, they were still able to draw attention off objective, allowing for their team, or for Chocolate and Vanilla, to punish those looking at the Carbon. So even though they didn't get the kill, they were still providing some value in a way. And that's what's weird about Carbon. They can just do those things.
I will note, I remember seeing the Carbon shark for a very long time on that little top left area, like in the left side of top mid, sharking for a very long time, finding one pick, and they only found one pick for a very long time. But during that whole time, after getting that pick, they held the attention of the other 3 players for very long, enabling their team to recap the zone and retake mid that super easily.
I do want to point out that even though Intimidation Factor didn't have a backline, their specials and their coordination as a whole still allowed them to get back into zone with relative ease at points. They didn't really seem to struggle getting in retakes, especially in that last little fight between when they got to 4. They were still able to get in and use their specials accordingly to get that hold, and it was honestly really impressive.
Yeah, I am kind of curious though, now that it's Rainmaker, will we see a Inkvac umbrella?
I don't think so.
I really do hope to see that. Because I love Inkvac quite a bit, both fighting and playing with it, and watching the team play that it creates is always a blast. So I really do hope we get to see that here. But who knows? Do you think we'll see that?
No, because they're fighting a Carbon and a Stamper, and we do have a DC. Who we could, excuse me, talk about that a little bit more. I don't. Yeah, see, they're not. Yeah, no vacuum. I just think the other comp doesn't allow for. I'll be so even with the vacuum. We saw the Tetra. Hold on.
We do see a Tetra, so there is a bit of a composition change there, and this does enable a bit more aggression for Intimidation factor, as they now get to fight a lot more. What did they have beforehand? I can't just remember.
It was a junior 10
96.
96. What was the last one?
I cannot seem to remember, but
I can't remember.
No, it was a bucket. It was a slosher.
Was it a bucket?
Yes, it was a slosher. That's how they kept recapping the zone. They had strikes.
Oh yeah, strikes.
So I will say this means that they can push. The thing is, earlier they needed strikes and bubble to push in, but Tetris doesn't care about special timings. Tetris just wants to go in and keep going in, which means
Tetra on this map.
Don't doubt it till you try it. It's pretty good on all Rainmaker maps.
This map,
yeah, including this map.
That's my outfit. That's my QR build.
What the heck? Well, ignoring the blatant plagiarism here, they do open up. Intimidation factor getting the pop, starting to move in a little bit on the sides here, but with a crab coming out, one goes down on Intimidation factor, two go down, and now it seems like Chocolate is going to start pushing.
The left side is completely unoccupied. Fatal taking the opportunity to get to the checkpoint, isn't able to cap it though. Intimidation factor is able to stop this push, taking the Carbon down with it. As lots, they have a Reefslayer, they end up using it, isn't able to find any value, gets punished with team. Lots of great team play here. Two going down on Chocolate v Vanilla. This would be a great opportunity to try and establish some control on the left side. As who picked up? I don't even know. The junior picked up, meaning no bubble, unfortunately. Are they going to go right? There's two down again. Are they going right? No, they're going left.
They're looking for it, but they do want to go left. But the Carbon ends up sharking them out here. And it's two on each side yet again.
Yes, but they are able to get the repop. Jumps coming in, the tent shield being active, but the pedestal's not baited. The pedestal, what's going on, guys? They aren't able to get the checkpoint. Reef Slider coming out. Zuka's as well. Two down on Chocolate v Vanilla. It seems like they're staggered quite hard.
Yeah, and Slasher coming in behind, getting a pick, but not quite able to completely stop the push, as we do get the bubble up here. And now Intimidation factor has the chance to start pushing further, gets out into 46, but does get stopped.
Indeed, they are able to repop it though, so will they tent shield it and then start to push it a little bit more? Zipcaster coming out, the 96 ends up grabbing, meaning no cooler. Two going down, but Scrub ends up getting behind them and tries to make something happen, but gets sought out by the Carbon. It is just Scrub up here and gets eliminated.
Yeah, and we do see this Tetra going in, almost finding a pick on the Rainmaker here, slowing them down substantially, but will not be enough to completely stop this push quite yet.
Yes, we see Scrub here going on the offensive, getting shut down. Two going down on Intimidation factor once again. Rainmaker at 30 seconds left. Junior going down. Seems they're going to start pushing left. 96 getting one. It seems that they're just kind of in a bit of a sticky situation. The Rainmaker is very far back, though, giving them optimal time to respond. Bubble is Tetra's going down. I mean, Scrub finishing it off. It is just the Rainmaker here with their teammates rallying around him.
Yeah, Slasher diving in. The fish diving in. They're trying to find picks. They find two, but the Rainmaker will go down to a bomb right as the Junior dies. Just barely not surviving long enough to make it past this sub-weapon onslaught.
Yes, Intimidation Factor does have cooler now, meaning they can play more aggressive. Nice pick onto the Stamper, but 2 end up going down, getting a nice double. Rainmaker is going to reset. Can they get a third? Oh, the distortion, I think, messed up their shots. The crab here on the left side could be very good for Chocolate V Vanilla getting another push off, as they're not really distracted. Everyone's kind of ignoring it, actually. The tent going down once again. Tetra almost getting punished. It goes down to the Stamper as Chocolate V Vanilla picks up again.
And they will go for the checkpoint and get it here. But this is not enough for the lead quite yet, because now they still got to push it to 241. Tame is trying their hardest for this. Does get the pop, pops crab. They're going for the lead. Do they get it? No, stopped 1 point short, but it's a wipeout, and they will end up popping and taking the lead.
Oh my god. We got it to 5 with 1 minute left. This is definitely going to be an uphill fight for Intimidation Factor at this point. Holding strong all game, but getting ultimately rushed down by Chocolate Vanilla, getting a nice double for Slasher, trying to pick it up. They do. The pedestal's not painted, but it doesn't matter, and they can just finish out the KO right then. No need for overtime.
What a play by Slasher. Their whole team was pushed out of that whole plat, but Slasher was hanging in there, finds 1 pick, finds 2, and sneaks by and grabs the Rainmaker there, and barely gets onto the pedestal.
I feel like halfway through that game, something clicked in Chocolate V Vanilla, because they didn't have the lead for like a good portion into that last few seconds, but like once they got to that elbow, they were able to save their specials for the right moments and then activate them together to put as much pressure as they could onto the wall that was Intimidation Factor, ultimately letting them KO in the end. Honestly, great defense from Intimidation Factor. Should not be ashamed of that.
Yeah, I will say the Tetra pick was, even though it didn't end up working out, the Tetra pick was very, very entertaining, because I will say at one point, Tetris was getting behind them, stalling out the Rainmaker a ton, and then right as I called out that they had died, we get an overhead view of everything happening in mid, and we see the Tetra already back instantly and approaching the Rain again. It's very, very fun to watch. So I will say their tactics were very, very interesting, and I do hope they end up getting a good run in bracket, because that was very entertaining.
I'm afraid to ask for their KD, so I'm not going to. But we don't go anywhere. We have a set coming up right now, so don't go anywhere. It should be ready in just a bit. Next up, going to Your Mom versus Cheeseburger. Very great names and some recognizable faces on both sides. Yeah, going to make them.
Yeah,
what are we buying?
I do remember the names of a few. Not a Leader, One Trick Trust is Code from Pinpoint. Same with 49er being from Pinpoint as well. Vizzy being an old retired comp player, just getting back into it. I do know them. And Super Toad, solid blaster player who I've heard the name of for a long while now. And Sather, another, not really retired, but less consistent comp player now. Not playing the game quite as much, but still a very talented E-Leader player. And Zoning, I've heard the name of too. Don't quite know much about them, but I've seen them around a fair bit. So I do recognize some of the names here.
Alright, I just want to say one thing. If Super Toad plays GooTuber, because they play GooTuber, I've been telling them for a long time to play GooTuber. So if they could play GooTuber, I would be so happy. But anyways, we're going to the mart. What are we buying? What are we buying today?
I'm hoping that I see a range blaster. Opposite of you. I'm hoping that I see a range blaster running around this shopping mall or whatever it is. I actually don't know what Mecha Mart is. I just know it's a store.
I would like to buy some chips. I would like to buy some good gameplay. I would like to buy maybe some fish, just because who doesn't like fish? Well, some people don't like fish.
Some people have fish allergies.
As long as they can hold on to these stacks, hold on to your stack first, it should be interesting to see what these teams bring out, because it is kind of a small map, if I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
So,
very neutral heavy. Because retake is pretty simple on this map considering how short it is. So it's a very neutral heavy map. You're required to fight in mid quite a lot just to hold on to the zone. So I'm really interested to see how these comps can work on such a neutral heavy map. And with the potential of seeing 2 E-leaders on a map like this, I'm kind of interested into seeing what type of snooze fest this will be, because that weapon is very boring.
Man, I would love to see a GooTuber. I love GooTuber. I think GooTuber is really nice. I like the specials. I hope I get to 3rd kit. Honestly, I feel like the custom GooTuber is better than the original GooTuber, just because the custom GooTuber gives it more of like a more flavor. You know, you get more survivability, you get a bomb poke, you get a hammer to get up close when you miss that shot. But I feel like either team I think this is a really even fight between teams, and really anyone can take it. It is zones prioritized, so even if we don't do well the first time, you can still bring it back for game 3. And it's gonna be interesting to see which team ends up coming up on top just by knowing who these players are.
I don't mean to crush your spirits.
No, don't do it.
However, we do have Code on that team, and Code plays 2 things, or 3 things now, if I'm not wrong. E-leader, pencil, and I think, if I'm not wrong, he's practicing edit. So, unfortunately, I do think there is already going to be a charger on the side of, I think it's Cheeseburger. I can't remember if it's your mom or Cheeseburger. But there will be a charger already. And I guess I've seen double charger work before on zones, but on whatever other mode that there is, I doubt we'll be seeing 2 chargers. So the odds of you seeing GooTuber is very low. And
that'd be funny.
Considering the only time I've ever seen double charger was Pencil Swiffer, I doubt we'll be seeing it if there's not a Squiffer involved. So very sorry.
You were talking about Vacuum 10. I can talk about GooTuber. I'm hopeful. I like double charger. I don't give a crap. I want to see GooTuber, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. On period. We're just waiting for the match to get set up real quick, so we got a little more time to chat.
I will make a small counterpoint here. You want GooTuber on a completely random map? I wanted Vac on Rainmaker, which makes sense logically when you think about it. Ink Vac is good on Rainmaker, so it makes sense for me to want to see an Ink Vac on Rainmaker. You're just asking for GooTuber on a random thing.
It's GooTuber. Just let me be happy.
Hammer's best mode is Rainmaker, though. Again, it doesn't make sense
about Rainmaker. I don't like Rainmaker. I'm just gonna say it. I like Zone.
But it's the best mode in the game. It's the best mode in the game.
Let me be happy.
But your happiness is talking bad about the best mode in the game, and that's my favorite mode.
Rainmaker?
Yeah, the best mode in the game.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
No.
That's a whole nother conversation.
This is the same conversation we've been having. We're talking about the best mode. It's Rainmaker.
I didn't say it was the best mode.
Yeah, it is the best.
Like
you should have said that, because it is the best mode.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I don't think it's paid. Nitro? Hello?
I'm kidding. I don't have money to give, sadly.
I'm kidding.
But
anyways, that's a different conversation. Now, I think we're getting into it. Finally, show me the GooTuber. Leave.
Is that?
Darn. Hey, but there's an Octobrush. That makes me happy.
Yeah, 49er is an Octobrush, man.
I'm happy with Octobrush.
Let's get into it. Gaming from Moonshine, not on Splattershot for some odd reason. This is going to be interesting to see, but we see blasters on both sides, which is very cool. The Splattershot Pro getting a pick early on 49er, looking for more, but forced to back up a bit.
2 going down on Cheeseburger, really establishing your mom's place on this map right now. Missiles coming out and trying to push them back even further, denying any re-entry as of now. But 52 going down, the Octobridge, the Reef Slider coming out, trying to cap the zone. They have just enough special power up to do so. Just Vizzy here on the side. Code trying to get jumped, ending up retreating in general, giving your mom control once again.
Yeah, we do see zoning going in, not quite able to find one, but their teammates will, and 3 go down on the side of Cheeseburger, and now your mom is dominating the game.
Indeed, 50 ticks left for your mom. Cheeseburger does have a Reef Slider ready to go. So I think they're going to try and get it in here, getting 1, but 2 going down from gaming with that Luna Blaster. You can't be sleeping in it. It's just the pencil left. They end up popping cooler for themselves, trying to do a tap shot 1v1 against the 52. Didn't quite end well. Missiles being popped. Cheeseburger does not have much time to re-entry, and they lost their Reef Slider. They're going to have to make a mad dash to the zone now. Booyah going out. They do seem to have it painted, and they are able to get that cap.
Yeah, and the slider does come out to find another pick, but we see Emo Boy just looking around, going for more. 49ers stopping them, starting to move in again, and I do think we're finally going to see a hold from the side of Cheeseburger.
Yes, the S-Blast does end up going down, unfortunately, but we do see a Zipcaster here going out, trying to find a quick pick on the 52, getting stopped by that Luna Blaster with this insane AoE. Zoink getting a pick on Super Toad as your mom is trying to push up here on the stack. He's not dead? I was about to say, I thought he would be dead, as Cheeseburger is able to respawn and get control once again.
We do see this Octobrush moving in here, taking fights, does not seem to find a pick, but they will end up trading out. Vizzy trying to hold on to the zone here, popping their slider, but going down as well. And now with this huge numbers advantage, seems like your mom is finally going to take control of the game back.
Yes, they do have not the biggest penalty as to go down on Cheeseburger once again. I feel like your mom is just really giving the aggression here and just keeping Cheeseburger at a stagger. So I feel like they're going to have to regroup if they want to get back in this game. Missile being popped, the pen going down, meaning no cooler. 2 going down, and it's just the Reef and the Octobrush under 20 seconds left.
And we will see with Emo Boy finding another pick, that maybe wraps on the game, and it is your mom taking the first game here.
Dare I say GooTuber would have been better? Who said that? Who said that? Not me.
No, actually, you might have been correct, actually. This is the craziest thing is happening.
That's what I'm saying.
You might have been correct. The thing is, they were kind of getting rushed down super easily, and while S-Blast may be better at handling rushdowns than GooTuber, S-Blast doesn't have Ultra Stamp. So, you know, that may be a better option. We might have found the one situation where GooTuber is better than S-Blast.
Yes! Okay, but why does the Luna kind of also beat the S-Blast? I feel like it could have just been how fast the shots came out, but I feel like the Luna was a key player in that game. Because they were able to hit on their ledges and get the picks needed to keep their hold on the map.
Yeah, I mean, the speed of Gal and Luna together leaded to a really big problem for Cheeseburger, where they couldn't push back in, because every time one of them wanted to move in, they'd end up getting picked off, and the rest of them would get pushed back so far that they couldn't move back in until their whole team was respawned. And by the time their whole team respawned, another person would go down, leading to this permanent stagger where they could never really push in because they never had specials to do so and numbers to do so. And it forced them to essentially sit in their spawn trying to like prepare for their whole team to be back, leading them forcing them to like reset their whole game, there, and even then they'd still struggle to get in because they'd recap the zone and they wouldn't be able to hold it.
All right, we see a little bit of a comp change from Cheeseburger, but quite a substantial change from your mom, seeing the Claws 96 once again and a Kraken E-Leader alongside the S-Class of their own, so no more Luna Blaster.
Yeah, and I will note that we do see Dart 96? I'm very confused.
Yes. That's the one with Pink Dart and Tacticooler. As you see, Octobrush going down 3v3 in the board. It seems that your mom has a little bit more paint, but now 2 go down in Cheeseburger. It's just a 2v2. They're really just fighting for control of mid here in order to get their push started. Nice pick from the S-Blast there.
Yeah, and gaming starting to move in. Looking for a pick here. One ends up behind. Super Toad getting one. Gets the Kraken popped on them and is just running away now. Falls to Sather, and now it looks like Cheeseburger has a chance to push in.
Here comes the Zipcaster. They do have Cooler, so if they go down, it's not the end of the world. Not quite able to find the right stick spot. Ended up getting recalled before they could really do anything. But Cheeseburger is the first one to make a move onto checkpoint before getting ultimately shut down by your mom. Maybe giving your mom the chance to move up as well, but going 2 down on there, so it's just 2v2s every which way.
Yeah, and we do see Emo Boy fighting Super Toad here. Booyah Bomb comes out, Zoning goes up to fight it as well, and they will together end up taking down that Booyah Bomb. Super Toad going down, and now your mom getting a chance to push in here.
There's the Booyah Bomb coming out, knocking someone off of bats. Kraken coming out as well, but no one's on tower. Who's playing objective? The Kraken rushing down the bucket, getting helped from the S-Box as Zoink is now pushing the tower, getting shot out by that pencil. It's just the E-Leader left alive, forcing the retreat? Yeah, it's forcing them to retreat and to give jumps to their team. It's just, there's so much fighting. Stop fighting.
Zoning here trying to keep control of their plat. Doesn't seem like it'll be possible though. The strikes and the Zipcaster coming out. 49er does go down though, but it's not enough to stop this push, and Cheeseburger is gonna continue going past that first checkpoint. Emo Boy barely holding on to their bats, but that keeps your mom in the game here, and they will finally take mid control back.
Indeed, that was a nice triple from the 52. Booyah Bomb coming out. Nice burst finish. 2 down on the side of your mom. 1 down on Cheeseburger. It seems that your mom might want to keep pushing, but they're just getting ultimately forced out by the sheer paint that Cheeseburger has, and little other enemies rushing around, getting a nice punish on that Octobrush. 2 down once again. I just don't know where I'm out of words.
Vizzy finding the pick on Emo Boy here, looking for more, getting that cooler, but with that being forced to back up just a bit, leading to them not quite being able to push in anymore.
So we see some little sneaky shots from Sayor, the E-Leader, and now Cheeseburger is finally able to push. 52 got behind but got punished, as now your mom is the one on the back foot as Cheeseburger starts to advance their push. If Cheeseburger can hold on to these bats, they can have a strong lead here. Zipcaster coming out alongside the strikes. 52 getting forced down, almost getting killed, but not quite. It's just the pencil up on tower. They are able to get past checkpoint 2. Booyah Bomb coming out, and it's just Toad here on the tower. Everyone's jumping in, only a minute left. This is going to be a huge lead for Cheeseburger. The Kraken coming out, not quite able to find anyone, as this push may keep going.
Yeah, Zoning holding on to what little left they have of their spawn here, but does not seem like they'll be able to take full control of their plat back, as 49ers still sitting here, still holding the space down, and coming in from behind them looking for a pick, but not quite able to find it.
Only 30 seconds left on the board. Your mom has to play an almost flawless endgame because to get to 21, that's 2 checkpoints and then some. So, and they will be having the specials to get here. They have Cooler, they have Kraken, they have everything they need. They just need to get the two GG specials on Cheeseburger, because Cheeseburger can close it out really fast. Here comes the Kraken. Toad is stuck. Dodging the Kraken is just a blaster on tower. The strikes come out, and so does the Zipcaster, and that is game 2. We finally are going to a game 3. There's still no GoTuber.
Gonna be very, very fun to watch. I will say, Emo Boy was stopped short many more times that match. I feel like they finally found the answer to Emo Boy's Gal that set, and they were just kind of completely shut out there. And now it's up to Emo Boy and Your Mom as a whole to like adapt and find a way around their new answers.
I don't. Did they have a 52 the first game?
Yeah, Emo Boy has been on 52 the whole time.
Okay, I see. Yes, okay. We love the streamer making funny jokes. Ha ha ha. Ha ha, Justin. Ha ha. But anyways, okay. It's 1-1. We're at game 3. This determines whose bracket goes where. So who goes to what bracket. I need to see. I don't know what teams are going to bring out what to fight the other teams, but honestly, it's really anyone's game. Anyways, it's really anyone's game at this point. I forgot what map we're going to, but it doesn't matter. Based on track record, we saw that Your Mom is better at zones. Well, we saw that they won zones. Will that prevail here? Will that give them the upper hand, or will Cheeseburger redeem themselves and bring it back? Because I know they had a Dreadringer the first time around and it didn't quite work out. What do you think? What do you think?
I did not catch some of what you said. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Doesn't matter. Let's get into it. We see the Luna Blaster come out again. But yes, we are opening up on Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market. It's just gonna be a quick early fight for neutral. No one really making an advance into zone. We see the Pro come out as well from Zoink. Missile coming out, marking 2. Seems like Your Mom is going to make the advance here, getting Cooler, starting to really get pressure up as Cheeseburger's just farming specials at this point. Okay, 2 going down on both, 1 on both sides, 2 down on Cheeseburger as 49er gets a 3rd, leaving just them left alive as, ooh, nice direct from Toad. I don't know if Star is here.
No.
Okay.
We do end up seeing Cheeseburger recapping the zone here. Gaming trying to sneak by, but caught by 49er. Like, not letting anybody get away here. They're trying to retreat, but they're still going down. Super Toad finally going down to safer here. And now, Your Mom is primed to retake the zone and retake mid.
It is a 1-point difference, but it is very, very close here, and Your Mom is able to get that zone, meaning no lead for Cheeseburger. Missiles coming out. It seems that Your Mom is trying to push up here, getting a nice bomb pick from Zoink. But trading out 2 down on Cheeseburger now. This could be a great time for Your Mom to establish hard lockout as strikes come out from Vizzy, getting a nice kill on the jump, as now the tables turned and now Cheeseburger is making their push.
Oh my god, I did not realize that the S-Blast had gotten so far up so fast. Super Toad looking for more here. Can't quite find a pick. Gaming punishing them, and now they're pushing back into zone here, finding another pick on Super Toad, popping the hammer, looking for more, finding another on the pencil, Code going down, and now they will recap the zone, and that will be the start of a hold for Your Mom.
Yes, Cheeseburger was able to get the lead, but their penalty points are about to expire. Beautifully placed strikes from Vizzy, getting the recap on zone. But yes, now Cheeseburger is starting to push in, getting stopped by those missiles. Missiles being a nice special in S2, being average in S3, but still holding up. And the 49ers just doing so much damage right about now. Going for Sayer, not quite able, getting stopped by that Luna Blaster. Emo Boy going into mid, trying to help their teammates out, getting another. Is 2 down for Cheeseburger. The brush stopping Emo Boy from advancing any further, but they understand, and it's just a pencil fight right now.
Yeah, Super Toad coming back here, looking for picks, going in. Does not seem like they will find one. They're forced to back up here, and Cheeseburger will lose the zone here. Your mom having an extremely low penalty due to all the constant zone flips, but Super Toad making sure Gaming gets traded out here. They have Booyah Bomb ready as well. They pop it, ready to go in yet again. Just trying to hold on to this lead.
Indeed, strikes coming out. 2 going down in Cheeseburger, but they are able to maintaining zone. Gaming with a nice hammer throw, getting a double. It's just the pencil left for Cheeseburger as your mom is about to get through their penalty points, as they just have a strong hold. It's going to be difficult for Cheeseburger to get back in.
Oh, Code finding a pick on Sather, but going down to that Luna Blaster, Gaming with a clutch pick. This could be the nail in the coffin. They're 2 down now. They have to recap zone with these strikes. They do, and they hold on for just a bit longer.
Indeed, 20 to 40, 30 seconds left. Cheeseburger is going to have to get a nice assortment of picks here, as we see Code getting 1 and the 52. Able to go into neutral. It is just a fight for control. The strikes go down. 49ers trying to do a little flank. They are found out now. Zipcaster at the ready, but your mom's about to get out of their penalty points. Booyah Bomb coming out behind, so the Zipcaster, the pencil goes down because of Gaming flank. They have to watch the sides. Only 10 seconds left. Busy going in, getting 1, 2 going down on your mom. They have to paint the zone. They get it. It seems like we're going to go to an overtime.
49er getting in, finding a pick on zoning. Emo Boy's forced to run away here. They have to stay alive if they want to be able to recap the zone. Oh my god, Super Toad goes down. The 3 go down, and that will be the set going to your mom. Oh my god, what an ending. Emo Boy barely hanging on there. Just long enough to be able to make it through the onslaught of everybody trying to kill them there.
Indeed, yeah, they did win the first zones game. Yes, they did. Okay, so history repeats itself. But honestly, Cheeseburger had me for a few minutes. They were putting up a really good fight compared to the first game. I feel like just the growth, the fight, how close it was between both teams. It was just a great set overall. Great job to both teams.
And
especially in overtime, might I add.
Yeah, I will say, I would like to highlight Gaming's constant rushes in. That Gal plus Luna Blaster combo that was lethal in game 1 proved to be lethal yet again in game 3, because Gaming kept getting away with, just because Emo Boy was able to draw so much attention, Gaming was able to run in and get picks time and time and time again. And that was enough to sway the game in the favor of your mom.
Indeed. I do think in that last few seconds, as you said, Gaming was able to get some picks. They were able to go on the flank with the pro and just catch everyone off guard while Cheeseburger was painting zone. I feel like just their positioning and deciding what to do and when to do it was really good, ultimately winning them the game in the end.
Was a great showing there from both sides, honestly. That was a very, very interesting set to watch. I will say, at points, I kind of got a bit distracted, got a bit lost in the sauce here. I'd get so enveloped in the gameplay that I'd forget I was commentating a little bit, and I'd get caught off guard by the fact that I had to speak.
Yes, a very great job for both teams. It was very exciting to watch. I'm really excited, and I hope they do well in their bracket runs. But yeah, I can stop saying your mom now, right? Right?
Yeah, finally.
Wait, I'm crashing out.
Stop making jokes about that
Oh.
team.
I'm sad we didn't get to see a YouTuber, but maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah. If I'm not wrong, we do have bracket coming up soon, so please do stay here. Stay tuned for that. Very excited to see what we'll see in Great White Bracket.
All right. Yes. 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 All right, welcome back to Swim or is this Swim or Sink? Yeah, Swim or Sink. Where we have Cafeteria versus Chicken Popcorn. I really want to see Popcorn Chicken, but it's Chicken Popcorn. We're going on Ship-Shape Cargo Company Splat Zones right now, and they're trying to start really fast. And then how's that? Was that fast enough?
Yeah. I will say I'm hyped to see the Dually duel here. We have Milk on the Dually Squelchers versus Oreo on the Gluga. I'm very, very hyped to see what's gonna happen here. We also have Yuko Nano or Rosie, who will be likely on shooters as per usual. Maybe we'll see a 52 cal there. Ryu, a known splash player. Mia, a wiper. Mirage, a pencil player. Soda, a bucket player. So I think I have a good understanding of what we're gonna see. Except for the long rapid, I was not prepared for that.
Rapid long.
The double dualies, I was not prepared for that either. Very small, very big surprises that I did not see.
Alrighty, see a nice little opening here. Mia and Oreo going top right, trying to get some aggression off the gate. Nice early cap from Chicken Popcorn as there's a fight for space. Oh, a tiny bubble from Ryu as Milk is here on top left, trying to cause some havoc. Two going down on both sides as they're just trying to hold mid. The Wavebreaker getting popped, trying to protect these jumps from Mia, but the Ultra Stamp is no match. Not quite able to get a pick right now. They throw it, going down, two down on the side of Chicken Popcorn. Might be forced out, and that is a wipeout for the Cafeteria.
Yeah, we do see Milk starting to move up, take space. Oreo trying to hold on to a tiny bit of this court here, but they're just being repeatedly poked out by bombs, and they can't seem to get past that at all.
Yes, they do have a reslider. They do use it for the Booyah. Are able to shred the shield. One down on both sides. Cool, nice cooler jump out as the Cafeteria keeps extending their lead. 4 minutes left. The Wavebreaker is at the ready. It is really just a game of lockout here as Chicken Popcorn tries to gather themselves to get a retake.
Yeah, and we do see the hammer coming out. They do go down though. Ryu gets the bubble up, 3 down on the side of the Cafeteria, and that will be a complete retake of mid. Except they got behind them, not a complete retake of mid. Brendan still staying behind, holding on to what they can keep, but finally going down and forfeiting the rest of mid to Chicken Popcorn.
Yes, Chicken Popcorn got through their penalty. Wiper getting shot down from the pencil. People are getting jumps, and we have a bunch of specials at the ready. Brendan with a reslyer going into zone, trying to catch one off guard. They do get Mia 2 down and Chicken Popcorn as they aren't quite able to recap the zone until now. Now they got it, and the Cafeteria is back in control.
Yeah, and we do see Soda just applying pressure. They do find the pick, a nice pick on Oreo, looking for one on Mia. The hammer comes out, but they do end up finding the pick on Mia as well. And Soda now just looking to keep this hold going for more picks, trying to keep their aggression on the enemy side of the map. Slider comes out as well, and they keep finding picks.
Yes, they are about to get through their penalty, meaning Chicken Popcorn is going to have to get back in zone. Nice bomb kill from Brendan. It is just the cooler rapid left. They're out of their penalty. 15 ticks left. Chicken Popcorn's going to have to get a special here, but the Mia goes down. They do have cooler. They're going to have to mad dash, but they won't be able to get the zone in time, getting shut down, giving game 1 to the Cafeteria.
Yeah, and we did see how much damage that double dually composition was able to deal. Because, you see, Milk, like every time Milk wasn't up there, like applying pressure, Soda was up there applying pressure. So they always had one up front finding pick, and Chicken Popcorn couldn't keep up with that.
They did have their moments though. I will give them some credit. Their briefs, they were able to hold the zone for quite some time, but overall, Cafeteria just had the stronger special usage, teamwork, and coordination overall. But let's get into Rainmaker. We haven't been to museum yet. We have not been to the museum. We have not looked at the art. unless we have, and I'm completely stupid. We're going to Rainmaker. We've seen some explosive Rainmaker games earlier today. What will we? Because we see a double dually, right? We see the double dually. Will they stick that, or will Chicken Pop? Or I knew I'd do it. Yeah, Chicken Popcorn. Will they change their comp to accommodate for the double dually? You know.
I mean, I'm not exactly sure because you see, they have 2 1-tricks on their team. They have a Gluga 1-trick and a Wiper 1-trick on their team. So, I'm not too sure how much they can really accommodate because Zimmy is already a good answer to dualies. So, I'm not sure how much they can really change. However, we do see them stick the... Oh, wait, no. Is that dually coming out from Oreo? Yes, that is normal dualies coming out from Oreo to try and fight this better. So, no more Gluga dualies.
I missed the Gluga. Anyways, opening up here, Brendan and Milk getting a nice pick on Mia early on. 2 going down on Chicken Popcorn. The very dominant opening from the Cafeteria. As we see Cooler ready, Reef Side coming out, just rushing down the Rapid. Rapid's out of ink, being forced to jump out, not quite able to. That is like so many delayed wipes and all in one. And there is the actual wipe as Mirage gets the checkpoint.
Yeah, and we see Mirage already popping the Rainmaker again. Soda getting this crab up. They're able to move in already. Numbers are ticking down fast. They're in the 30s already. And the slider comes out looking for more picks. Mia goes down, but Brendan goes down as well. It's just a dually 1v1. And I do not think that Cafeteria will be able to pop this, unfortunately for them.
Indeed, Chicken Popcorn opts to drop the Rainmaker into mid rather than let it sit on their plat, which is objectively the best decision they could have done, but that does leave them in a 2-down situation, giving Cafeteria the opportunity to just repop and stall it. Hammer getting canceled, unfortunately, as it's in the 3v3 in the board. Rainmaker, they're just letting the Rainmaker reset. Cafeteria has so much paint on the board, they shouldn't have too much issue maintaining mid.
Yeah, and we do see Rayu going down here. No bubble, no hammer for the side of Chicken Popcorn. They're losing specials like crazy. The crab is being forced out early. Bubble comes out as well. Both will be shredded by the slider, but not before the Rainmaker goes down, and it is just Mirage left standing here.
Oh my god, aggressive pencil! 2 going down on Chicken Popcorn as they seem to try to pop Rainmaker once again, but not able to due to the hammer. Mia being very aggressive here on the left side, trying to get a pick onto Milk. Just kind of, those moves, oh my god, they're just moving out that pencil, not getting hit before leaving Milk to jump out. You see them on the ramp here. It seems like it's now Chicken Popcorn's time to start moving up. They have the crab, they have the bubble, they are ready to go.
And we do see that as we hit the halfway point of this match is finally... Oh, I stand corrected. Not a time for Chicken Popcorn to push in. 3 go down on the side of Chicken Popcorn. And Cafeteria will get yet another push here. Start moving in immediately. Mia almost going down there to Mirage. And now Cafeteria's putting Rainmaker on their plat, threatening to get more points here.
Indeed, Cafeteria... They don't have a cooler right now as the pencil picked up, but they do end up going down to the crab, it looks like. Milk is able to jump out on denying any access from that crab. The Cafeteria is just putting so much paint on the field, making it really hard for Chicken Popcorn to move. The bubble coming out, but the Reef Slider coming in to cancel it. So the hammer getting one nice pick on the dualies, and the Rainmaker does end up resetting, giving Chicken Popcorn the chance to move into mid.
We do see the cooler coming out, but Rosie going down to Soda. Soda looking for 2, gets a second with the bomb there. 3 go down, that's a delayed wipe for Chicken Popcorn. Cafeteria back on their plat with the Rainmaker, and they could get more points yet again, just suffocating Chicken Popcorn.
Indeed, only a minute left as Mirage makes the run, getting it down to 30, but 2 go down on Chicken Popcorn. The Cafeteria is able to repop. Only a minute left on the clock, as Chicken Popcorn is yet to make any progress on this Rainmaker, with the Cafeteria's unlimited specials getting 1-2 down from Soda's Crab as they pick up again, going for the KO, getting it to 7. Still fighting for any more points they can gather.
Yeah, and Mirage finally being forced to jump out, but 30 seconds left, and Chicken Popcorn still doesn't have a single number on the board here. Nia going down will not help that. They need to find picks here. They need to get a numbers advantage. Brendan staying alive as long as he can. Barely goes down there, finally, to Ryu. And now it's a chance for Chicken Popcorn to push in. They need this.
A hammer getting shot down. No one has the Rainmaker. Okay, but now the Rapid has it. Overtime is starting now. They have to do 100-0 here to pretty much the win. Soda diving in. The Reef Slider going across, not quite able to get a pick. The Rainmaker's fighting strong, getting another 2 down with a duelie's flank. And here comes the Crab getting 1. It's just the Rainmaker stalling at the Crab. 2 go down, and it's just the Rainmaker. And that's a wipeout and the set for the Cafeteria.
Yeah, and we will end up seeing them in later round. That's very strong performance from them. I will say I do like their comp quite a lot. You don't see VDS every day, if I'm not wrong. There's only 2 Dually Swatch remains in the entirety of like Plus server, being PK Fuzzy and Milk. So it's very entertaining to see one whenever you do come across one. I do like this double Dually comp, and I hope to see them in later rounds.
Indeed, they were able to use their specials to their advantage and coordinate pushes, denying any access for Chicken Popcorn to get into mid. They were just so much more like alive. They were able to keep fight together and keep paint on the board, making it so hard for Chicken Popcorn to get anywhere close to mid, as we saw them dominating the game for the first 4 minutes pretty much. But we can't discredit Chicken Popcorn in any way. They still got great white, and they still showed us a great set. So I just want to say great job to both teams. I really enjoyed it. But yes, I do think that is the end of our time here. So where can they find you? Still here.
Apologies. But yeah. I forgot what I was saying. I'm so sorry.
Where can we find you?
You can find me at starlullaby.bsky.social on Blue Sky, and you can find me at starlullzz on Twitter.
Yes, and you can find me at MiloQ with 2 U's pretty much everywhere. But yeah, that is going to be the end for us. Don't go anywhere, because there's more sets of Great White coming up next. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good evening, gamers. Welcome back to your staple weekly tournament, Swim or Sink. My name is Sharkbray, and I'm joined here by SPF Dark, and we'll be your commentators for SOS 196, Great White Bracket. We've already been witness to a few absolutely electric games. A beautifully played round one by the Cafeteria, taking chicken popcorn off of their menu down 2-0 with a double dually and Dread Raider comp. Going into our next game, we have Barnacle and Diamond Zones against with Nothing Feels Good against Envy.
Beautifully said. I could not have said about that last game or last set anyways better on myself. Man, oh man, here in SOS 196 is getting up there in the numbers if my math is correct, and I'm very excited to see exactly how these future SOS are going to be looking like here. But no, now moving on to Nothing Feels Good versus Envy, as you mentioned, Barnacle and Diamond Zones. I'm very much excited to see how this next portion of this bracket and tournament is going to be looking like.
And Nothing Feels Good taking a pretty good run so far, going 2-0, 2-1, 2-0, and 2-0 in Great White and Pools. We have, and then on the side of Envy, again, we have a undefeated run, 2-0 throughout all of Pools and Great White. This is going to be an absolutely great match for these two teams. And
to get things a little bit kicked off right out of the gate, Splatoon's Barnacle Diamond is a very interesting map in my own opinion. It doesn't really particularly excel in one specific gameplay or game style or over the other. You know, it's relatively flat. There's decent cover, but there's not like big sections of the map to like hide behind and whatnot. So there's a lot of different weapons and playstyles you can play around here with Barnacle Diamond, and I think that's what is the excelling part about this map mode. If you want to give it a single thing that it's good at, it's just the fact that it's like just very around, just an all-around all right map.
It definitely is one of the, like my more preferred maps. I definitely do love this. Like good crab spots, at least a couple, but this is definitely a pencil, and occasionally when we see leader come out on this map, it is absolutely devastating, and I had a very hard time playing against long range on this map.
Oh, I know the pain. As someone who uses blasters myself, any sort of long range backlight is definitely a pain to play around here. But it really isn't that much of a pain as I might end up making it sound like, because there is a few options, but you know, if you are a good backline player, you know where to look for those few approach options for your frontliners or for enemy frontliners. So it's kind of like you're just sort of betting on the backline not noticing you as you try and potentially close the distance.
This is very much a, like, even playing this is very much like a heavy, like, tug of war map. You either get to plat, as soon as you get zone, you either get to their plat and hold it, or you just, if you can't push them out, if they get on your plat and you can't push them out, it's pretty much over. Because there is, even though there is a drop, it is very easily guarded, unless you have no one on street, which I myself have hopped in there a couple times. But we're getting off to our round one. Let's see how we start here.
No clue on comps. Weapon lineup.
Pens and Carbon.
Ooh, a very fun lineup.
All right.
Across the board.
You absolutely love to see it. And really aggressive start here by both teams. Carbon going down on the side of Envy means Nothing Feels Good is going to be able to take zone very quickly. Cooler coming out, and it is time to overheat.
A good flank here by Teen with the tactical and the bubbler two down the side of Envy. That's a very good opening on their side, but Envy does have tactical on their side, so there is a bit of opportunity for them to be able to go here, but Nothing Feels Good, still holding the ground, still holding them back as we see the hammer get popped here to try and go on the fence before getting canceled out.
No value from that hammer. Reef comes out, is able to take the Zuka down. We're down 2-3. Nothing. Okay, Envy making a great comeback here. Swiper's gonna push up on the crab, canceled right as it started. Bubble comes up on the side and Nothing Feels Good, and they're gonna be able to take zone and stop that push dead in its tracks.
Yeah, and the important thing to know here is that Envy didn't actually capture the zone on that last initial flip here, so nothing feel good is just running away with the points with only 50 points remaining. Envy finally being able to rush in and flip the zone, giving a heavy amount. A good hammer cancel here from Envy. Nothing feels good. Brett does manage to regroup and re-coordinate with themselves to keep their tempo, keep their advantage, and with 3 down, Envy's looking to be a little bit of trouble here.
Waiting for hammer to come out, or another thing, and one splat coming off. Again, Envy trying to do anything to try and take space here. They were able to flip zone, but it's going to be hard trying to come back in. Zuka coming out, taking their streak, getting cornered, and that's going to be Envy absolutely eating up that tent.
Yeah, and this is where the lockout is. We mentioned earlier that lockout could be very dangerous, very lethal. Envy having a good hold on this area control here, and even the crab take does come out for nothing feels good. It's a little bit too late as Envy is just able to cruise past those final points, and take his first game.
And as we see, that tent was able to get some strong pushes started. Tent as a weapon, very hard to counter. Has no bad matchup against one single weapon, but the one thing that takes Tent down is coordination and teamwork and pushing it from both sides. So good on Envy taking that into Barnacle and Dime. Now going into one of my more favorite maps, Tower Control Inkblot. That may be a controversial decision, or an opinion, but I very much do like this map. Getting up into bats, getting up in their faces is very, very fun for flankers. So we'll have to see if Wiper can capitalize on that.
Yeah, I mean, this map mode specifically, as well as a tried and true within the competitive communities. So many teams, so many players have played so many times on this map mode specifically that it feels like anyone who is anybody should know how to at least somewhat play around this map. You know, you have bats to worry about. You have those crates to try and play around with the tower and the initial push with the tower. You know, there's just a very deluge amount of information that goes into this map mode specifically. That I think as players play it even more, it's going to be very fun and very nice to see exactly how things settle out.
Absolutely, and Envy getting pretty greedy here, taking round 1. We're gonna see. Hopefully we'll see a lot of aggressive pushes on this map. This is more of a map where once you get tempo started, it's very, very hard to slow you down. If you have good cohesion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, team play is very much of a bigger initiator / impactor here. Bats really is the key point for team play here, because a lot of your end game pushes really revolve around how well you have control of bats. So it's up to these two teams here to really try and use that to their advantage to stay in the lead if they're in the lead or try and defend.
All right, and we see S-Blast coming out on the side, and we get Slashing Machine. Okay, well, I guess we're going back to patch 1.0. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, the machine is a very interesting pick here. Not something we see too much these days here, but it could be a decent tower niche for its Booyah Bomb and its just expanded hitbox here. And even though it was the first player to get picked off here in the beginning here, Envy's already getting that tower picked off with that Bubbler and the Tactical. It's a very good opening push on their end.
Insane. Okay, great pick by Sky here. Nothing feels good, opting to swap out the tent for S-Blast for tower control. It's Pencil getting a tap, but not able to finish it. Does get a pick.
Bubbler used again, and importantly too, it's not on the tower, it's off the tower, so it's gonna be able to get its full value here. And that second checkpoint's already gone before Nothing Feels Good is finally able to recover from this initial push, getting Envy 2-3 down. That's a huge triple from Flora. Can they get the quadra here? Booyah Bomb being popped to save themselves a little bit longer, but no, eventually going down.
Oral getting a great triple, getting their team back in the game. Cooler coming out from both sides. Who's gonna push first?
Nothing feels good. Playing it slow here, trying to make sure they can get their proper grounding, their proper area, and their proper turf on their side. 2 down from Envy with another third delayed pick. That's a good sign for them, especially with Tactical online. They're going to go on to this last final player here. Envy starting to get a little bit staggered here, getting picked after pick after pick, one by one. Nothing feels good. Momentum starting to build up.
Floral again going absolutely insane on the picks. Nothing feels good. Being able to take some down and actually get their momentum started, for only for Envy to crush them and crush it down, taking tower and turning the tides around.
Things were looking good for Nothing Feels Good, but Envy didn't let them deter them a single bit. They were able to come back, get Nothing Feels Good down in the player count, and is now pushing this tower once again, already up to where they left it off in the first place before Nothing Feels Good was able to retake it once again. But Team here going in the backside, getting the pencil. That is a huge pick. Getting tacos. Baby. That's a 2-for-1 special here. Can they get a third player as they reclaim tower?
Beautiful shark from TNX right there, taking block and playing patiently, waiting for Pencil to come back from spawn, delaying their cooler, and more importantly, getting a pick on bats. Booyah's gonna come out to stop a tempo a little bit, but it's not gonna be enough, and Envy's gonna start their next push. Booyah going very deep. Rudo pushing up to bats, pushing Pencil, is able to take the pick. Reef coming out in their flat. Envy is what gets momentum and does not stop until they see the fireworks coming out on the final check.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous situation for Nothing Feels Good. Envy was just able to brute force their way through that second to last checkpoint, heading into the final resting place of the tower and take this second game, sending Nothing Feels Good home here and Great White bracket.
As we did see, it's not like this was a one-sided match either. There was a lot of good plays by both teams, notably Floral getting an absolutely insane triple to get their team back in the game, but that's going to be 2-0 for Envy, and that's going to be our set for round 2.
A very good showing from both of these two teams, and a bit of a quick game regardless of the outcome here. Envy doing a very good job here, taking this 2-0. Nothing Feels Good. You made it this far, but still feel proud for what you did to get this far at the very least. But with that being said and done, we are going to be waiting a little bit on our next game here, so don't go anywhere just yet, folks. We'll be taking a quick break as we get our next match ready.
All right, everyone, welcome back to SOS. We're back to round 2 again with another match. We got Resonance versus IDK We'll Change It later. A lot of strong players on both of these teams coming up to Barnacle and Dime zones.
And a bit of a quick PSA for the folks at home who are typical to SOS viewing experiences. We are currently actually running another round 2 of Great White right now, since we are a bit of ahead of schedule on the streaming side, and we would have been waiting quite a while for our next alleged set. So instead, we're going to be streaming this set while we can, and then head straight to our third set once this set wraps up.
We want to bring you content. We're going back to Barnacle and Dime again. We already had our whole spiel on this.
Hopefully we won't be waiting too long this time around, considering these two teams are already, as soon as that last game, the previous set for these two teams wrapped up, they're already ready up here. And as I say that, it looks like we're about to head straight into this game here, so I'm already ready to see exactly what's being brought to the table here.
We have Brush, and we have, okay, we're seeing some fun comps here. We got Dynamo, 10, and Paintbrush all in Junior on the side of Resonance, and Brush coming out for Zones on the side of IDK. Again, pretty standard start for both teams.
IDK bringing a little bit more traditional lineup on their side with the weapons, but Resonance really bringing it out there with their weapon lineup. And I don't know how effective it's going to be here on a zones map here, since IDK has a little bit more painting power on their side. But I don't know. IDK is looking to be the ones to try and take this lead here. They already have a few points on their time, picking off players from Resonance one by one. It is a good opening on their side.
Taking a pretty aggressive strat here, taking down one, looking for another, but it's not going to happen. Pain is okay. Pain trying to make space, but is not able to. One down on the side of Resonance, trying to get specials up. They have Bubble and Tent Shield to push with, but is it going to be enough? Bubble goes down. They have Cooler and I forgot what the new 10 has.
I don't know off the top of my head either, but we see right here IDK is just locking Resonance out. Something that this map has sort of known for, and Resonance is struggling to keep up, especially with these weapons here playing super aggressively. We see the Tri-Trucks coming out once again, 2 players down yet again for Resonance. IDK is looking to try to run away with this game without any contest at the end there before taking this game home with a clean 100-0.
Absolutely, clean 100-0 is very, very true. IDK taking it 1-0 with a pretty substandard comp, but then we'll switch on the side of Resonance. You see that pretty interesting weapon comp coming out. I would love to see them succeed on tower control.
Yeah, I think their weapon call is a little bit more favored for tower control here, especially with Zones of Barnacle and Dime. We mentioned with our last set here, but it does tend to get a little bit lockout heavy if you just kind of get a little bit behind here. And with their weapon comp, it is very important that you do not get behind, since a lot of it's focused around, from what I can tell anyways, about slaying and keeping advantage here. But so here, things are a little bit easier. It should be a little bit easier, but I don't know. We'll see exactly how, if they keep the same team weapon lineup anyways. We'll see if things change here or not.
One thing I absolutely want to see, if they're going to be running new Tent, it's Miss and Chomp. I want to be able to see some miss spam. I want to see Tent get absolutely aggressive with those toxic miss and lock everyone in. Again, no comp changes. We're going to see no comp changes going into this second match. And okay, we have a DC. Or it's
a remake.
Or we got a goof.
Yeah.
I goof.
Don't know what was wrong there. I couldn't see anything on my end as to what the remake might have happened. It could have been either one of the players not in the right team.
Sorry, they get canceled.
Or something like that.
Going into tower control Inkblot again, we're gonna see Tent's gonna be pretty crucial tool to be able to push up onto ramp and possibly Chumps to get into bats. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure who would be the one pushing up there. Possibly Junior.
Yeah.
Again, I am the comp guy. I am the guy who loves talking about weird weapon comps. So I am absolutely going to cheer Resonance on.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see a weapon comp like that. I mean, the meta currently really doesn't really swing one way too hard for one specific weapon lineup. You know, there is a lot of freeway and free flow to use a lot of different things and really have a piece of success with it, you know. So seeing these more, at least in more traditional terms from previous patches and previous metas, to see something that's widely more out there and unique is it's also very refreshing here. And I do hope Resonance gets their footing here to put on a very good show at the very least.
All right, going into round 2, let's try that once again. And we have Arrow Spray coming out.
That is a very interesting change up.
Okay.
The last times. I'm not sure what this Aerospray brings over the junior, but I guess we'll see here shortly as both these two teams make a breakaway for mid-year to try and assert their dominance. A huge initial pick here from Fat with the Trizuka.
Beautiful pick. Looking for the pick on the pencil too. Might get a triple. Looking for the triple. Neptune jumps out, able to take space. Again, Kaleo absolutely holding that tower off, getting a great push. And chumps are coming out into bats. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see. 10 pushing your ram, getting and using chumps to actually push in. Is gonna have a tough time with Brush. Brush able to capitalize on it. Reef Slider on tower. Absolute power move. Taking 2 down. It might get a 4th.
On a rampage, Primarina just out here doing what they can and just keeping Resonance in the game a little bit longer. I was not sure how this Aerospray was going to do here, but it seems to be proving Voice's value as they keep getting pick after pick after pick after pick before finally getting shut down. Resonance past that second checkpoint before going down with delayed wipe. IDK has a lot of damage done to them already, but Fat's still in the game here, finally going down.
Resonance might be on to something with that beautiful tempo push and that really aggressive arrow spray play. That beautiful triple coming off on the side of Resonance.
Now IDK has a lot of ground to cover if they want to try and at least contest that lead. There are 28 points remaining on your initial push here is a very good opening. But the thing is with Resonance and the weapon comp is once they start getting a little behind on their picks, on their pressure, things start falling apart very rapidly here. But they're keeping a good job here on keeping up with IDK as things are still in a neutral state right now.
Jumps going out on the side of Resonance. Booyah's going to be able to come up, probably clear a couple of those. Again, really good tempo being kept here by IDK, able to get strikes out. Reef comes out, able to get the punish. 2 down on the side of Resonance. And if there's one thing you want to know about Splatoon comp, it's that no lead is ever safe. And IDK knowing that full well, pushing into bats, trying to get a pick.
You gotta watch out for Kraken here on the brush, but 2 down from IDK means this push could be gone at this point. The Booyah Bomb and the Killer Well being used here to try to stay alive a little bit longer, but Resonance is keeping their ground, playing it slow, playing it steady, getting whatever picks they can as that tower is trying to get past his second checkpoint. But once again, one by one, IDK is going down as Resonance is holding their ground. A good defense on their side as they force IDK to reset.
Again, Toxic Mist putting in the work for Resonance, putting in the work from the tent. Now that I think about it, very hard to push a Dynamo in the tent at the same time if they're playing together. And that's going to be very hard for the brush to push in. Reef coming out, going to be able to take out Pencil pretty aggressively. Almost gets the pick on T-Tech, but is able to close it out.
1 minute 30 seconds remaining. IDK has a little bit of ground to cover here if they want to try to contest that lead. That second checkpoint, most importantly though, is still up, and I think that's gonna be crucial if they want to try and take this lead here. But one pick does go down for Resonance, but Primarina does go in with the reslider, and 2 down for IDK. The tides are constantly shifting back and forth, and Resonance comes out on top in this fight here, and now they're looking to try and push their advantage as best they can, and with that second checkpoint already gone, they can definitely get additional points here.
Primarina trying to push Bats, isn't able to actually get value off of Fizzy, isn't able to actually get in there. Resonance having to back up a little bit, and this might be IDK's last push. If they're able to close off this game, they'll be able to finish off the set and probably take it 2-0, or Resonance will be able to take it back 1-1 and try and get the reverse sweep.
Yeah, now IDK is looking to try and poke and prod to see exactly what their angle attack is going to be here. Specials being used left and right. Primarina does manage to barely get one here. 2 down from IDK as Resonance takes control of the tower once again. Cleans up Plat, cleans up the remaining players of IDK, and now they're forcing this tower to reset back to neutral here. 14 seconds remaining in this game. IDK has to rush to try and get this tower if they want to try and take an overtime victory here. But 1 down for Resonance means that it is possible here to try to use to clear the space, and we will be seeing an overtime scenario here.
IDK wanting to get that push into Bats. Zuka comes out. They're going to start that push on a tower if no one's going to get on tower. He tries, tries to get on tower. But that's going to be it. That we're going 1-1.
A valiant effort from IDK there at the very end. Things were looking good, but unfortunately Resonance had too much playing power on their side and just kept IDK knocked down for a good chunk of that game. And now we're sitting at 1-1 for both of these two teams. This is do or die for either of them. Whoever loses here goes home for after making it so hard in SOS. And man, oh man, you do not want to go home now of all places.
Again, that last second sub out from the junior to the frontline arrow spray was what somehow turned out to be a great decision. They came out, Resonance came out swinging on their opening, able to take a very, very deep early lead. Taking tower all the way to 29, was able to hold that pressure all the way until the end of the game, being able to take game 2. Now going into game 3, we got Splat Zones on Romo Ramen. Personally, one of my favorite maps, but we'll have to see, will Resonance keep running the beautiful, beautiful arrow spray and be able to keep that pressure up, or how will IDK respond?
Yeah, that really is the big question now. Resonance has shown that their comp with just minor adjustments can really make a big impact here. IDK hasn't really made too many changes, if any changes at all, to the weapon comp so far here. So it's gonna be, the question is, it's gonna be up to them if whether or not they want to try a weapon change here, or do they think their weapon lineup is all right and do they want a strategy change?
Again, doesn't matter what weapon you play as long as you do what you need to do for your team. If you can get it done.
And it seems that we're sticking with our beloveds here. No major changes from either side. Both these teams are going to make a breakaway for this zone here.
IDK making a break for the zone with and Resonance kind of just gives them the zone there as they start going for specials off of start. We'll see how it works out for them. They got a Zuka and a Reef coming out. Aggressive play. One going down on both sides, isn't able to get the jump out.
Resonance here trying to take whatever area control they can. They did manage to get a few additional points on their side there to extend the lead as best they can. The IDK is not going to let that go down without a fight. They're constantly paid, constantly trying to contest the zone, and they do get the zone back under their control here. Neptune on the right side fighting KO here against with the 10 umbrella here, but they're losing that battle, being forced out here by the super chumps. And in the midst of all that chaos, Resonance is able to take control of the zone once again and pushing IDK out fully.
Yeah, you are not able to take a solo fight against 10. Like I said earlier, it does not have a losing matchup in a 1v1.
You see Kraken here on the backline to try and get any sort of flanking picks here. they do get spotted, and they were very close to getting a pick here. They do get stargazing out on the Dynamo before scattering here, but it doesn't seem to be too much of a value right now, as the remainder of their team is currently down. Resident still running away with some points. IDK now fully properly regrouping here in mid, does take the zone once again, and is now looking to keep Residents down.
And now we see that they have that space. Now they're just playing patiently. Chump's going to be able to come out. Reef coming out too. It might be able to get enough. It might be enough to get a punish, and it's a wipeout.
A good wipeout here from Residents means that they can flip the script here and save themselves before lead is lost here and get IDK in a lockout scenario here. They're looking to try and use whatever tools they can to keep them pushed back, but it seems they're giving them a little bit too much space here, as IDK is able to charge up their specials, charge up whatever they need, and get that zone flipped immediately. And even though they're down 2, Tactical are still online, but they lose the zone yet again.
Again, I would say flawless special sequencing there from IDK, but not able to take it as that Aerospray comes in. Framerina getting 2 once again, able to keep zone and able to push their lead even further. If IDK isn't able to get a push within this next 30 seconds, they might drop the set and it might be over. Booyah coming out. Booyah and Strikes again coming out at the same time, able to get an insta-cap for zone, but is it going to give them enough space to push in? It's able to buy him time.
Yeah, the lead is... The gap for the lead has been extended, though. There's 64-21. That is not a good sign here, but this is a good sign here as Neptune gets 2, as they are looking to clean up the remainder of Resonance, getting a 3rd. That is a big shift on their side. IDK can now look to try and lock out Resonance on their side, especially with Tri-Strikes on board. This could be a very good hold here to try and take the lead.
Vividi playing pretty patiently, able to get Strikes out to get a counter, but they go 2 down. Residents getting a good push in here despite the specials, might be able to flip zone, and they will, getting Chumps out, pushing. Will they push? Will they push?
It's a bit of a stalemate from both sides.
Very tense here.
Constantly flipping the zone back and forth between these two teams. It is anyone's game, but to be the first one who can pop their specials and fully get a good, decent pick there. One goes down from either side. Tri-Check's used from IDK to try and contest the zone, but it's not enough for on Resident's side, as they're able to retake the zone once again. Constantly fighting, constantly going back and forth at each other, but Resident goes 3 down. IDK has the opportunity here to retake the zone once again before those penalty points are gone. In the final 45 seconds, they really need to hold here, or else this game's gonna be good as gone.
As you see again earlier that we saw, the Dynamo was able to get a good double, but it's not going to be enough to keep pressure. One going down, undercut, and Neptune's able to close it out, punish it. Cooler's coming out on the side of Resonance, but without any other specials, it's looking like IDK is going to be able to take the lead unless Primarina can get an insane Reef Slider out here. They're trying to get it. They're trying to get it out.
Go in the nick of time.
And IDK takes lead with 7 seconds left on the clock. Will Resonance be able to close this back out?
This is still going to be a tight game, though. There's not a lot of penalty points on their side. IDK needs to take the zone now, or else this game is gone. But
Reef Slider is going to be enough to cap it. It's going to be not enough. They had over half a zone with the cap coming up at the last second, but it's too little too late, and Resonance takes the set 2-1. Very, very close set. Well played by both teams, and absolutely peak cinema.
Coming down to the wire. Both of these two teams really brought it at the end here, going neck and neck to the final moments. But at the end of the day, it is Resonance who barely inches out the victory here and takes this set home, sending IDK home here. And man, oh man, what a set that was nonetheless. Ooh, that is a great way to wrap up the second round as we head into round number 3 without any hesitation, by the way. This was supposed to be the match we were recasting here before we had that longer delay. So now we're moving on to our proper third match for this series.
And Resonance taking that beautiful reverse sweep secures them a spot in semis. We'll take a look at bracket here. We see, pardon, throat. We got Resonance coming up here. Beautiful 2-1 match with beautiful reverse sweep against IDK. We'll change it later. And as we saw from earlier, Cafeteria is back in Great White bracket. Cafeteria versus Envy is going to be a strong match. It's going to be a very, very strong match, but we're going to take a look at Perfection versus Resonance up next.
Perfection versus Resonance is our next match here. Finally, moving on to our third round here. And if I am corrected, I do see we're going to be looking at Mako Mark Splat Zones first in this set here. Mako Zones is a very interesting map in my own opinion, because really, if you play any of the sharking weapons like blasters, brushes, rollers, or buckets, you know, those kinds of weapons here, you have a really good time with the amount of ledges, with the amount of corners, about the nooks crannies you can hide around.
And going into this set, I would absolutely love to see, you know, per swimmer sync. I'd absolutely love to see the seed upset here with Perfection casted as the number 2 seed and Resonance is 27. Anything can happen, and I'm excited to see this match.
And excited as I am, though, we do have something to readjust on our side, so we'll be going on a quick, just few minute break here, so don't go anywhere just yet. We'll be right back.
Hi, we're live? All right, we're live. We're back with SOS. Back in Great White semis. We're coming at you with Perfection versus Resonance C2 versus C27.
I'm very excited to see exactly how this map's gonna go. We talked a little bit before the break about this map mode we'll be seeing here, and we've seen Resonance already knock out IDK with the last set we just witnessed here. So we have a bit of an idea as to what they're gonna be bringing on here. But Perfection with their team, they're a little bit well-known more a team on their side. So we're not gonna be seeing anything too surprising, at least if they're actually playing what they usually play here. Nothing too surprising on their end.
And Perfection living up to their name, going 2-0 in all of their sets except for one. Coming into this set, it's going to be a very, very interesting set. We have a staple of comp coming in here, starting off with Zones Mako. And for those in chat who are obsessed with Clamblitz, apparently, we got Clamblitz for you coming up with Umami Ruins. And then we got TC Undertow, Rainmaker on Manta, and Zones Mahi.
And thing to know here, now that we're in semifinals here, we are going to be moving from a best of 3 to a best of 5. So there is going to be at least on average one additional game going to be played here from both these two teams here to try and secure that grand finals placement here. And as both teams break away, we see exactly what's going to be coming out on top on this initial interaction here.
And you've seen it before, you love it. We have Resonance here coming up with a pretty interesting comp. We've seen them cook. We just saw them cook coming into this set. Perfection living up to the name. We got a pretty good start here. One going down on both sides. Surprise Zuka coming off from Resonance is able to take one out, able to get the trade. Chump's coming out from Resonance and might be able to take space off it. And able to take zone.
Yeah, good zone flip on their side, but doesn't lead to too much as Perfection is able to cap it almost immediately, and additionally using the Trolley Strikes to push Resonance back out here. And this is a little bit of a struggle with Resonance with the weapon comp. If they don't have the advantage already, they struggle to actually get any re-engagement on their side. And it seems that Perfection is doing a very good job here in keeping them just staggered and keeping them pushed back and sort of locked out here.
And Resonance not being able, it's very difficult for Resonance to get in. We have Perfection watching every angle, and also Resonance not sending everyone pretty spread out, not being able to choose a specific side to go in through. Chump's coming out on the side of Resonance. This might be enough to take zone. They don't have to worry about Carbon sharking for a couple seconds, but Fat's not able to get up onto Plat, is not able to get up onto Stacks with that bucket watching it, but might be able to get in. Dynamo with the tent shield, as we love to see it, but Perfection is going to close this game out. Game 1, Perfection going 100-0.
Yeah, very dominant showing here from Perfection. It just goes to show of how crucial that initial setup is for Resonance to get their ball going. Because once they actually do get set up here, we've seen that they're able to take games just as dominantly as that here. But Perfection here might have already seen weapon comps similar to that and know how to play ahead. It just kept them constantly zoned out. I saw a lot of good bombs there from Perfection to keep Resonance from coming in.
All right, Clamblitz fans, we got Umami Ruins coming up next. We'll have to see how this pans out with Zuka Rush. Honestly, Zuka's strong on this map. I see it cooking.
Yeah, I don't think Zuka's necessarily a bad pick here. And I think might be a few other specials that you could argue that could be better here, just depending on the situation. But I think it all really depends on how your team specifically plays. Because the thing with this map is, there really isn't anything too particular about it. It has decent verticality, it has decent cover, it has decent sight lines, so there really isn't any sort of one type of specialty you want to try and run here. So there is a lot of specials that you can use here without too many issues.
And that snipe going to be able to. We'll see how they play. I am interested to see this. That was a very locked out game 1 on Mako. But hopefully Resonance will be able to find a little bit of breathing room on this second map.
Mm-hmm. And and since we're moving on to Clamblitz as well, it makes you wonder if they want to try and lead a bit more aggressively than they already are, because a lot of their team comp are pretty much short range to mid range fighters. So you have a lot of opportunities here to maybe be cheeky with just the middle platform and have like 2 engagements at the same time and moving in on that to get a lot of space covered. And I wonder if that's gonna be what they want to try and do here.
And yeah, I'm trying to think what other maps in the pool are allowed for Clamblitz on this map pool. Because definitely not my favorite mode to play.
Clamblitz, I enjoy Clamblitz.
It's funky. It's a little bit funky.
But enough trying to stall here. We are heading to game number 2 in this set. A minor change up on the side of Perfection, bringing out the 96 Gal Deco on their side.
But Resonance, fan favorite, as we just saw, Aerospray coming back out, hopefully to get more aggression in that with that Reef again. Hoping to see it. Fat able to get the trade down to 3v3.
Yeah, good opening trade on both sides here. And now Resonance with the Tactical are online. They can definitely try and push advantage a little bit more on their favor here. But Kraken comes out, gets the immediate punish from the Reslider on Primarina as they're looking to try to get a second player. No, does go down, but gets a second pick after Kraken and lag.
Still going absolutely insane, getting a great double, a great punish, and a great kill on Tent.
Now things are looking up good on Perfection's side. They are able to quickly move in and are looking and trying to fish for the entrance on their side, but Fat comes in, gets 2 down, potentially a third before getting shut down here. And now both of these 2 teams are at a relatively even scale. Specials are ready on either side though, so it could be one special to flip it all.
Again, a very, very aggressive Kraken coming off on the side of Perfection, able to get a couple picks and actually get them out. But Reef comes out, it's down to 2. They might have to panic score here. Perfection takes what they can get. Resonance again pushing up mid, trying to take space. Ooh. Able to get a pick. They're going to be able to take space here, hopefully take back mid and start a push. Zuka coming out.
Yeah, with that pick from Fat there, they can definitely get a push going. And Perfection are looking to play it slow here, not wanting to try to overextend too much. Tactical are online for Resonance, but we did see the Kraken come out, as well as the Super Chumps coming out once again from Resonance side. It is constant back and forth special usage, as both these 2 teams are desperately trying to play this game of neutral to see who's going to fall first.
I'm waiting to see that Reef, and there it is. Will it get a pick? It does. It doesn't get a pick, but it does get Resonance in. It does get Resonance in. It does get the lead.
Doesn't get them in, but it gets them a huge cash out with 3 power clamps almost instantly. That is a very good counter push on their side, as Perfection now has to try and make another push happen on their end, but Fat on the back side to try and get a flanking pick there before getting shut down, before we see the Kraken once again comes out in the midst of the chaos. Perfection goes in, gets the power clamp into the power clamp basket, and they're able to close the lead. That is a huge shift on their side.
Able to retake it. Perfection able to keep the momentum going somehow. Able to get it down to 19, almost to knockout, but isn't able to close the game out. Very strong push, but Resonance is going to start pushing back.
A solid hold here from Resonance to keep themselves alive. Now look, they're looking to try to get that push once again, seeing if they can recreate the same play they made earlier, but Perfection knows it might be coming, so they're playing a bit more defensively, playing a little bit turtled up, but maybe 2 turtled up as 2 goes down. The Reef Sider yet again allows these jump ins to get Resonance those points they need to potentially take the lane here. They do take the lane here. That is a huge shift once again, as Perfection is scrambling to get things back in control here, but it is not enough as they barely saves themselves from defeat.
Perfection able to stop the knockout from happening. Resident's getting a little bit greedy with that jump. Not able to close out. Perfection just barely holding on for dear life, trying to get this game through. They're gonna get a great push starting in here with Kraken. We'll see if they're gonna be able to score off it.
They do get the power climb into the plant basket.
Comes out, doesn't die, doesn't get canceled.
Slider goes in deep, but 3 down for Perfection. They do get the power climb into the basket here, but it is not enough. They cannot score additional points off it. They gave Residents a pity clam, which is huge in this overtime scenario here, as they really need to make sure they have as much clams on their side. 20 seconds remaining. This is not a good look for Perfection, but I've seen closer games be won out here.
And Resonance really wants to be able to establish dominance in the clam economy right now. And it looks like they're going to be able to do that with Perfection scrambling to make a power clam. They're going to be able to. Kraken coming out. Reef is going to be there to possibly cancel it if the Aerospray stays alive. We have Reef coming out.
Everyone's diving the power clam carrier right now, and they do manage to get the power clam out, but they need to go back and get that another power clam before it breaks away. And not only do they get the power clam right in the nick of time, they get it scored into the basket, but there's no one else to follow it up here. It is just Bonk here. They're lone surviving here, but they get one additional set up with the power clam and with the jump in. Captain Happy gets that game.
Holy crap. What a comeback. What a last second comeback by Perfection, holding on to dear life from the knockout, stopping the power clam from coming in last second, able to take game 2 on a very clutch overtime push. You absolutely love to see it.
Oh man, Perfection. The odds were all literally stacked against your favor. You had lost a power climb in the backline and it was about to break, but you just barely managed to form the power climb just before it could break and get extended overtime long enough for your team to regroup, reorganize, and get that lead swap. That was an incredible overtime take if I've ever seen one.
And you know what? As much as I don't like to play Clam, as much as I don't like to play it, that was insanely fun to watch. Very fun mode to watch.
I've always been a fan of Clam, but specifically
very
for
fun
scenarios like that.
Very fun team to watch. Very actually insane match, dude.
As insane as it was, though, we're not done yet. We still have one more game to decide to see exactly if Perfection does move on to grand finals or if they are forced to play yet another game after this one here. If Residents can take this third game home here, and that third game is gonna be tower control until Spillway.
And if Resonance wants to see the light of day and come back to grand finals, they're going to have to reverse sweep Perfection here 2-3, as we see Perfection taking these 2 games very lockout game for game 1 with Zone, and very close comeback on game 2 with Clams running in to tower control on Spillway.
Whew. Now we'll see if there's be any major changes here. We see a Splatoon Stammer coming out on the side of Perfection as Residents sticking with their tried and true, not wanting to change at all here. We're going to see exactly if it truly is what it takes to take this third game, or if they're going to be sent home packing here in game number 3.
Again, Happy trying to establish that mid presence with Pencil already. And Stamper's gonna be able to take down 2 for the side of Perfection. They're gonna be able to take tower, crack this checkpoint, and Crab is soon to coming up on right side.
Ooh, that is a very nice crab placement to get that crossfire going so you can get that first checkpoint without any issues, heading to that second checkpoint without any issues. The Primarina coming in with the reslider, but it misses everyone, does not get a single soul as they are being immediately punished in this tower, moving to that third checkpoint. This is the third point of no return here, folks, in this map mode. It could be very snowbally here, and if they can break past this third checkpoint, this game could be in very serious trouble here. Resonance cannot stop it.
Very, very dangerous ledge peeking by Carbon here. Able to get a pick, but has to trade it out as Resonance gets their push started here. And as soon as I say that, the push gets turned around.
Resonance alive for a little bit longer, but their attention is split here. Perfection's already at that third checkpoint once again, and Crab Tank's online here. This could be a huge boon on their favor of Perfection to keep that tower on that side of the map here, as we do see tactical being used by Resonance, so these picks aren't going to be too devastating here, but devastating or not, they are still picks nonetheless. That third checkpoint is going to be good as gone at this point. Reslider comes in, does not get anyone as they were protected by the bubble, and Perfection with the perfect third game. They take this game number 3 home and move on to grand finals.
Again, living up to their name. I'll say it once again. Perfection living up to their name, taking the set 3-0. Very, very close second game, but a sweep on the third game takes the set, knocks Resonance to third place match, but Perfection moving on to grand finals.
Oh man, what an extraordinary set that was. Perfection shows why they are seated as number 2 here in SOS this week, man. But Resonance still, despite the odds against them, they really put up a well fight these past 2 games, only really faltering in this third game here.
Yeah, Resonance, when they get set up, they are very, very much able to take space, to keep it, they're very much able to take names when they want to, or to take space when they want to. But once they did, they just had trouble setting up against that. Against mid presence. They had a very difficult time setting up. They had a few good pushes, a very well played clams match with we love reef cheese. We love reef cheese. But close game on second. Absolute blast to cast that game, and we'll be moving on to finals in a little bit.
Don't go anywhere just yet, folks. We'll be right back after this quick break to see exactly. No, actually, no, never mind. We know who's going to be coming up right now. I thought there was a bit of a longer wait, but no, it seems that in the midst of all that chaos, the rest of the games on the other side of the bracket were finished up here, and we're going to be seeing Perfection going up against Envy.
As we just saw Perfection playing, we've seen both of these teams just on stream already, and this is our grand finals match of Great White.
I honestly could not ask for a better teams here for our big finish here. Perfection, you know them, love them, folks. Perfection are here to take this set home. But Envy, we saw them earlier. They have a lot of fight in them, and it's honestly, I'm very, very excited to see this first game on Splatzone's Robo-Rom to try and figure out exactly what the speed, the tempo, the pacing this set's gonna be like. Heading into Splatzone's Robo Ramen, I've mentioned this already. It's just a very I very much like this map. There is the big thing about this map is that there's that underhang flanking route to really try and play around, to get behind your opponents or try and fight your opponents, bring them down away from the action, and really try and abuse that sort of extra angle. It is very fun and it's very entertaining in my opinion, and I think it really makes for some great strategies here. And I mean, it's shown to be a very somewhat volatile zone as well. This zone specifically, I've seen constantly flip back and forth across all the games that I've casted in the past. So I'm eager to see exactly how these two teams would be playing it out here. And we know what Perfection will be bringing this time around. They really haven't changed too much here, but the core really revolves a lot around the carbon roller and I think there was a 96 Scout that got swapped to a Splatoon Stamper. Perfection, we know what they run generally, but it is Envy, who I'm not as familiar with, so I don't really have too much of an idea of what they might be bringing here, other than the first few games we've seen already. As we're waiting here, folks, eagerly anticipating what's going to be happening next. A bit of an insight as to the future set at the very least. We're seeing these first 3 games at the very least, regardless of what the outcome is going to be like. Rainmaker Museum Delfino next, followed by Tropical Hagglefish Market. Rainmaker Museum Delfino, a lot of that map revolves around trying to play and trying to maintain control of the spinners, either the middle spinner or the spinners on each of the map side here. And the Hagglefish Market Tower is Hagglefish Tower. You know, we'll get to that when we get to that here. But already on the kickoff for Splatzone's Robo Ramen Grand Finals, I'm eager to see exactly what these teams are going to be bringing to the table and how they're be playing this out.
Then strong opening coming off from both teams. Pencil taking snipe.
Already out the gate, both of these two teams are swinging at the zone to try and get control, trying to maintain the zone. Envy does get the first hold, but they do go. They are the first player to go down here. Bubbler is going to be used here from Monday, most likely to try and maintain this half zone exactly and get that first solid hold.
And Carbon getting that one pick changed the tides completely. Crab getting canceled but not killed as it gets distracted by the Dapples. Again, Carbon trying to get a cheeky pick off of here on zone, getting Zukas onto their plat and not getting a pick. Okay, gets a pick with Burst Bomb.
Bonk here and trying to use their carbon roller as best they can. Finally going down here to the pencil with the free slider coming in. That zone could get flipped almost immediately, but Perfection maintains control and maintains the status quo here as they get a few extra points here before Envy contests it before it finally goes down. T-Nex here on the hammer does not get a pick here, as there are actually going to be able to at least push Perfection back to a potential lockout scenario.
Crab coming out on the side of Perfection, trying to reestablish zone dominance. Bubble coming back up. That's going to get them pretty good space, and they're going to cap here.
A good cap and good hold here. They're going to get through those penalty points without too much issue here. They're looking at Envy, seeing what their move is going to be and get ready for their counter push. The Reef Slider does come in, get the zone flip, but not without being punished almost immediately. 2 down for Envy means that Perfection just holds on strong here, goes away with those penalty points yet again, and they're most likely going to be able to take the lead here.
Perfection playing a very strong mid hold with Bonk going in, trying to get a pick off of it on their plat, not able to establish it. But that crab online is going to be pretty devastating to trying to get out here. Sky finding a very strong pick here on ramp to try and get their team back in. Cooler down, but no specials on the board for either team.
Yeah, this is a bit of a neutral zone from both of these two teams to see who can get the specials first and try and flip the fight. Envy does go in with a restarter to get the quick flip on the zone here, but it is not without punishment as Perfection is able to take the zone right back, or at least contest it right back here, as Envy is forced to back out at least a little bit. With tactical online for Perfection, they can go on the offensive without too many repercussions here, but penalty points are as good as gone for Envy right now as they go in on the offensive here to try and push Perfection out, but not without losing their own players.
And 3 down on the side of Envy, and the wipeout is gonna make Envy have to try and push in here with 25 left to go and 30 extra points left on the board. Envy does not have a lot of time here, and with Bubble coming up, that's about all. And Reef, that's what they have to push in. They're going to be able to Reef onto zone to almost flip it. Not able to flip it. Hammer coming out 2 seconds later. Might be a little bit too late unless they get a pick here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Perfection knows the tools from Envy, but unfortunately, there is a disconnect from Perfection on their side. That is a huge boon in Envy's favor, and as far as I'm concerned, that is far past any disconnection rule, remake rules here, so they're forced to play it out here. That is an unfortunate side. Right when victory is at your grasp, you unfortunately go down to a disconnect.
I think we're gonna have to call it. I think we're gonna have to call a womp womp. That is extremely unfortunate per Perfection. Reef coming out. Reef being held means they're. Oh, okay. Zuka comes out. Perfection might have a fighting chance here if they can get in. Crab, a super aggressive Crab, easily punished by Wiper and a wipeout. That's extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do if you're Perfection here. Things were looking good on your side up to those last few moments, and at a constant player disadvantage against a team like a team comp like Envy, where you need that player advantage whenever you can, it just kind of fell apart. And Perfection, unfortunately, was not able to keep up, even with the massive lead they had managed to build up there. And unfortunately, they lose this first game against Envy.
Divers, take notes. This is what having one down on your team will do to your team. Going on to Rainmaker Museum, we have a pretty, I would say, a pretty technical map coming up. Very unfortunate circumstances, but Envy able to capitalize on it and take game one off of a very strong hold from Perfection up into the last second before the DC.
That is not how you want to start out this grand final set, but
you hate to see it.
The only thing you can do is move on, and moving on to Rainmaker Museum Dolphoncino, we're going to be seeing if these teams want to try and change things up, if they do think they're confident enough with what they've been running, and run it back once again.
We might be a second before game starts here because we have to get another player back in the lobby.
And coming in from the words of the voices in my head, it appears that they were actually offered a replay. Perfection was offered a replay from Envy, but they choose to decline that replay I don't want to try and speculate their reasonings. You know, you can make do with that information with what you want. How I take it is that they recognize the offer, they recognize the sportsmanship, but they choose not to and be like, you know what, it happens. We can just keep moving on and head on to the second game. It is no worries.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
And the reason given, if we would like to say it, that person's reason given says, I got school tomorrow, but I gotta go to bed. So you know what? Fair enough. At least we got great sportsmanship. But listen, this is Splatoon Cup, but we have fun here. We have fun here. W sportsmanship is so true.
What I was trying to paint them up as a very sportsmanship like scenario here just turns into I have a life outside of this. I gotta go to sleep soon here, but no, we'll see if they can try and wrap this game up quickly. Then, as we head to game number 2, Museum Dolphoncino Rainmaker.
Mom says I gotta go to bed. Drop coming, Wiper coming off of drop is pushed out pretty fast, not splatted, but very close. Okay, never mind, it's splatted. Pencil able, both pencils fighting for mid control here, and able to get a very fast checkpoint.
I just realized I think one of Perfection named put their alias as DDoSer in this set here. I think in light of the disconnect, which I find very funny and very entertaining. The only downside is I don't know who from that team is right now is the one that says DDoSer, but that's besides the point. Perfection is 3 down with a wipeout against Envy. That is not a good sign for them.
Yeah, and they're most likely going to be able to get check here if Perfection's not able to get back in time. And with Rudo having bubble ready, or not, that's going to... Mia able to take down that bubble before it even gets online. Gets picked by the dually off of Spinner. Okay, and Wipeout comes out, able to stop the push dead in his tracks.
And now it looks like Perfection wants to try and extend their lead as much as they can, take it into 30 points and counting down to 28. That is a huge lead extension on their side. Perfection has control of the enemy Spinner as well, so Envy has to try and make up ground here. But Bong tries a jump around but fails, unfortunately. There, that could have been a huge flank on their side, but no, it seems that Envy is just gonna hold their ground as best they can, let the Rainmaker reset, and try and take this fight to mid.
Perfection almost getting Rainmaker pop. We love seeing Sprinkler to put in the work, but not able to get pop. Bubble's going to be established here in a second if someone from Envy grabs Rain. We got one down. Okay, Carbon has an absolutely aggressive push into Bubble, able to take it down. But again, Dapple's beautiful Dapple's taking space, waiting for the reef.
Honestly, Envy here is looking kind of good here with this incoming push. Unfortunately, though, there's two down, but the Reslider tries to go in and makes the space they need for that Rainmaker to move up. But the important thing about this Rainmaker is that it needs protection from backline weapons. This pencil was just staring it down the entire time, and now Perfection is able to punish Envy, the last minutes of Envy, and take that Rainmaker all the way down to the other side of the map almost immediately.
Again, Mia's just able to hold off the entire push for their team here. Able to hold off the push and start a new one, taking that ramp, taking aggressive spacing, and Stamp, although Stamp does come out and takes 2 down, possibly 3, on the side of Envy.
A huge swing on their side. Envy still alive in this game for a little bit longer. Important things to know here from either side is that the checkpoint is gone. But Envy here, they have a lot of points to try and make up, and so 2 down from Perfection's side, and Envy going in deep with the Reslider means that they can potentially try and contest the lead here. Tactical are online as well. Things are looking good on their side. Unfortunately, though, that jump is missed, and the Pencil knows exactly where to look and takes their Rainmaker out, buying them extra time to regroup from Perfection's side as Envy tries to pick up the Rainmaker, gets a late push.
Again, the one thing we're seeing is Bonk, the Carbon is very much wants to get in and get a really powerful shark off for their team, but isn't able to consistently establish that with the torp from Dapples.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very hard thing to try and push against the Carbon.
The hammer throw on the Pencil.
It is, yeah, there's a lot going on right now from either side. Specials being constantly used, picks being constantly taken left and right. But with 30 seconds remaining, we see Prim Marina once again on the reside to try and take that area. But no, it is not enough. It is just utter chaos around this Rainmaker.
Again, with Bonk not being able to do much in the sharking department, we have them going for Zuka, able to actually possibly secure this win for the team. Again, Envy going for Pop is going to get 2 at the end, but it's not going to be enough. Again, too little, too late. Envy takes game 1.
Yeah, that was a close attempt there to try and take that game in a potential overtime scenario here. But Perfection's initial lead does manage to set themselves up pretty and just were able to stall out that game for the remainder of the time. Envy not being able to close the gap at all means that this game's going to go to Perfection here in game number 2.
And Freudian slip by me. I did not mean to say Envy take game 1. Perfection takes game 2. I got 2 things wrong in that. Perfection takes game 2. We're taking you over to TC Hagglefish. Another really fun map to watch.
Tower control Howlfish is very fun even if it is a very snowball heavy, especially at the end there, the second checkpoint heading to that third checkpoint. It's really when a lot of damage can be done depending on who you are and what position is like here. So you got to be very mindful as to what the map situation is like and what's going on in terms of game presence.
And a good response on Torp coming out to call out, especially to call out that sharking from the Carbon again, made it very, very difficult for Carbon to establish space for their team. But Carbon was actually very, very much able to still provide value in getting that Zuka when it was needed and able to close out the set.
Mm-hmm.
Or close out the set. What am I talking about? Close out the game. My gosh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm making predictions over here.
It's completely fine with how these two teams play and how chaotic it can be. Sometimes it is completely fine to get lost in sauce because this game is very fast and very hectic that it takes a lot to try to truly keep track of everything here. And it wouldn't surprise me either if in this map mode specifically we see both these two teams just really just erupt into chaos, because this map can definitely bring a lot of things happening at the same time.
Again, Pencil's very, very going to absolutely love tent and playing up top, either yours or the enemy's tent. You are going to be absolutely playing for that space whenever possible.
And now with this third game online, we're seeing exactly what this next game is going to be like. Some minor changes. Never mind. There is a remake here. I don't recall seeing anything wrong with that map mode there, nor do I recall seeing anything wrong with the teams either.
Say it with me. Womp womp.
Nothing a quick remake can't fix, though. I'm sure we'll be back in it in just a few moments. Maybe there's something wrong with the teams. Apparently one of the players wasn't ready yet, which I suppose is a good enough reason to remake the map. I'm not sure. Again, I am not TO powered. I just am loud voice for the stream.
Thank you, TO, for keeping everything. One of the players wasn't ready. Okay, understandable. Although I am very, as some of you, if you are familiar with me, you will know how much of a Dooley appreciator I am. I very, very much love Dapples, so it's very fun to see blue Dapples come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think, in my experience anyways, Dapples really isn't a weapon that's highly played that much. Really, it's really is gonna be the blue Dapples, which, I mean, already as a weapon that doesn't get played a lot, I don't really know what the right scenario it would be.
Listen, I'm the red Dapple believer. All right, I'm the Dapple believer. I've been the Dapple believer since launch.
Oh, yeah, it's map weapons and these games are very funny because there's a good chunk of weapons that you just never see the light of the day. Even though they aren't necessarily bad weapons, they just get outshined in so many different ways that there really isn't a point to run a lot of these weapons. Like, prime examples are going to be the L3 and the H3 weapon lines. Like, you hardly ever see those weapons at all, and I don't think they're bad weapons at all. In fact,
I know a couple of my ghosts who are absolutely in love with L3, and I absolutely appreciate it, but the jet kit is insane. All right, going back, we'll try this again. Starting back game 3.
Trying this one more time. Not too many changes from either side. We do see the sticker stamper coming out from Perfection this time around, which I'm eager to see exactly how it's used on this specific kit here. Both teams are making a breakaway for mid here to get that first control of the tower, especially with Bubbler on it. It looks like Perfection's get the first chunk of points on their side.
That bomb being very close to securing a kill, not able to. Zuka coming out, trying to get a pick, is able to get one with very weird angle, but you know what? It works. Whatever flips, whatever splats, whatever gets you the kill.
What are the odds that clip's gonna be posted on Twitter talking about the
react, bro. Just react
from Zuka again? We're gonna have this conversation all over again. But Perfection very narrowly getting that first checkpoint on their side. That is a huge thing to get within the first minute of this game.
Able to get checkpoint, but getting called out by that bomb was pretty tough, especially. But it's not like it matters a ton because he had cooler. Again,
Yeah.
so Machine trying to get a cheeky pick on the pencil. He's still fighting Carbon over there? Or did he jump out? Did they jump out?
I believe
okay.
they jumped out there, yeah. As now Envy is looking to try and get this first checkpoint on their side. Bubbler used, I think, maybe a little bit too early on their side, though, but it doesn't seem to be punished too much as they're able to pass that first checkpoint and take the lead once again here as they get the tactical online as well. That is a very good opportunity to try and go push and get the momentum going on this side, especially with the second checkpoint. This is when things can really spiral out of control if you're not careful here.
And Sky doing a very good job here, basically playing Toho with the amount of bombs that you have to dodge on tower being thrown at you. But Perfection, either way, is still going to be able to get that push out, but not before Perfection pushes to 58.
Ooh, that is a very solid push there. Take Perfection now looking trying to make sure they can extend their lead or at least swap the lead as best they can. 58 to 40 isn't really that big of a deal, but I think what is a big of a deal is exactly where it is on this map that 58 to 40 is gonna be positioned. It's right on that third checkpoint, that second checkpoint, and the third checkpoint, which really is a hard thing to push past. But if you can push past, you can get a lot of points in response of it. And with seeing a beautiful Booyah Bomb throw getting the Perfection out of there on that side of the map, it looks like they can get that second checkpoint without too many issues.
Reef coming out, good to actually break the Booyah armor. Is the only one left here trying to survive and trying to make a push. Is not able to close out the splat on the Carbon. Team's able to pick back up, but not able to keep the momentum up for long enough. Envy gets pushed out, making a pretty solid lead. Perfection's gonna have to go make a pretty crazy push here in the last minute and 40 seconds of this game.
Yeah, I mean, 19 points remaining on their side. Perfection has a lot of ground to cover to try and at least get that lead swapped here. But things are looking to be a good start here, as crucially, the pencil is the first one to get picked here on Envy's side. Perfection does unfortunately go down to the Booyah Bomb here, but not without throwing a Booyah Bomb of their own here, as they're fighting on the tower, trying to keep this push alive as best they can here. Bonk on the Carbon on the right hand side. Unfortunately, it does go down to a very curious Let's camp there.
But Bugs just does not want to let it go. Very, very determined to get the splat. TX getting a very, very strong double.
Now in the final minute of this game, and Perfection's down 3 players. Once again, they're at the back foot here as Envy's pushing this tower forward. Bombs does try to slow them down as best they can, but it doesn't seem to be too effective here. A 1-for-1 trade on either side as Envy slowly keeping this tower moving. 30 seconds remaining. Perfection has to make something happen if they want to stay alive for one more game.
Again, if you're pushing that tower, you better be ready to play DDR, because you're going to be dancing around that tower, especially with the amount of bombs coming out from both juniors.
15 seconds remaining, 2 down for an Envy. Perfection might have an opportunity here to make an overtime victory here. Gimme on the backside, though, using their weapons to their advantage to try and just keep Perfection on their feet. Reslotted going in deep and does get the Tower Rider, and in that play, manages to come and swoop and take the Tower Rider as overtime is called and take the second game
from downtown. He's hot. They're hot, bro. They're on fire.
I don't think I've ever seen a play like that. A cross-map Reef Slider manages to take a pick and steal away an overtime scenario for Perfection. 2-1 now Perfection. They're on match point. Envy can take this game and take the crown here. Oh man, oh man.
Right, 2-1 here for Envy. Perfection struggling to keep that game out. Still a very, very even set here.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams have been constantly neck and neck, trading games back and forth, and it's just been a very interesting thing to see. It's just so it's just constant trades, constant fighting, that it's very hard to tell exactly who could come out on top. It's not until those last few seconds that you can really start to see that how the game might end. And man, it's so entertaining.
This is gonna be fun to watch. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat. This is gonna be fun to watch. We got another Clams game.
Yeah, heading in the game.
Waiter, more clams, please.
We are going to be seeing Clamlet Scorch Gorge. And I mean, Scorch Gorge is a very interesting map because a lot of the power and the presence on this map specifically revolves around the ramps leading up to the ejectives. You have good control of those ramps, you have good control of the map, and good control on tempo. So it's going to be crucial for both these two teams to keep that in mind here.
And Dapple's going for a early flank in pit, pushing ramp pretty aggressively. Isn't gonna pay off.
Yeah, give me going.
Yeah, going for that dive. If you get that dive off, it's very strong. But it's not. It's just not gonna be enough. You're not able to get a splat or even a trade there.
Yeah, trying to go on the offensive here. Perfection is looking and trying to keep the fast tempo, but it seems that Envy is able to keep these counter pushes going. Unfortunately, the crab take is going to be kind of wasted here as they're forced to turn around and turn the attention, and they're able to punish it immediately afterwards. Envy looking to just keep Perfection scrambled as they're already having decent clan economy on their side.
And crab, when you get a crab up, you definitely want to have your team at least in front of you for the most part. Because if you crab way too far up, like there, if you didn't match, you didn't check your tempo, you're gonna have someone come behind you, and your crab's just gone.
Yeah, positioning is very crucial, especially on this map. A lot can be very much be done or undone depending on your positioning. And Restarter goes in here to try and protect this upcoming push here, but it goes unsuccessful. 2 down now from Envy means that Perfection is able to come in, take that Clara Clam to the baskets, get the first points on the scoreboard, and cash in some additional points out on the afterwards. Gimme going on the deep end side to try and go for a dive. Gets one, gets another. 2 for 1 special. That is a huge push and a perfect end to Perfection's push.
Very, very strong response by Gimme. Is able to get back here, might be able to take another pick, but has to back off because of the carbon.
Yeah, very good offensive here to keep them disengaged. Perfection does not want Envy just to run up all over them after the end of that initial push there. And so now it is back to a neutral game of both the two teams are just constantly fighting, constantly poking each other out, so you can get the first huge swings on their side.
One thing you'd absolutely love to see here is Gimme setting a super fast tempo, and the rest of Envy being able to pull up to push up on it. With Reef in play and Cooler, it might happen. We get one pick.
2 down for Perfection.
Again, there's the Reef does the Reef gets canceled. It does come out for a frame, but it gets canceled.
Yeah, Reef Slider is known to be not the invincible super, and Gimme coming in deep, comes in, gets 2, wipes the board for Envy, and gets them a huge cash in. 30 points remaining. If they play their cards right, they can knock this game out now. Coming in once again with a super jump power plant. 10 points remaining. Perfection scrambling to get this game back out of their own control here, but a super jump with 4 clams on their side. Unfortunately, they do go down. Perfection Perfection barely able to keep this game alive for a little bit longer, but the damage has already been done.
Absolutely great push by Envy. That's what I was just talking about with the with Dapple setting the with Dapple setting the tempo there, and Envy and the rest of Envy being able to pull up on it. Dapple going insane right now. Okay, went a little bit too deep, pushing in, but Perfection's able to take it down.
Yeah, I mean, things are not looking good for Perfection here. That is a 60-point differential here on their side. To make it up, Perfection needs to score at least 3 power clams, which is a lot harder to do, especially on this map mode. But it seems that they're looking to try and at least make an attempt to close the gap at least a little bit. Yeah. A huge pick here from Perfection's side to try and set this up. The crab take coming out, but I think you should have dropped the power clamps at the very least before you pop that crab take, because I think the power clamps are not going to be able to make it in time. And no, as I say that, they're able to get the power clamps into the basket here. They just need to score a few more clams to go and take the lead. They take the lead here, and they might be able to use this jump and close the distance, take the game, and take it. They do, bringing this get to 2-2.
They had the push. I was questioning whether they had the clam economy or not, and they do. They are able to close out Game 4, taking this to a 2-2 best-of-5 set, going down to the wire, the final game on Splatoon Shipshape. Again, although Envy's able to capitalize on the super fast tempo of Dapples, it's not going to be enough, and Perfection's going to take Game 4, going into Game 5, down to the wire in finals of Great White Bracket of SOS 196.
Oh man, and here's the interesting thing too here. Remember the first game, Perfection was set up to win this first game, but they only lost because there was a disconnect right before they can close the game, causing Envy to regroup, retake, and just rebound off of that and take that first game here. If they had actually won that game like they were lined up to do, Perfection would have had won this game here and called the set there. But no, because of that initial disconnect, they're fighting it out here in Game 5 for match point and grand finals.
And so Zones on Shipshape is going to be one of those maps where you have where Dapple honestly is going to be able to play a lot stronger, especially not only with Reef Slider, but a drop off of start. I'm going to call it Dapples if they get space on right, they're just gonna drop. You can just drop there. You can just drop on right, push in. If it don't work, at least you pull the other team away. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing too about this map here is that it's also notoriously a very lockout heavy map. You get set up and you can play your cards right. You can absolutely deny all gameplay for the enemy team here, and it could be a scenario where we see once one team sets up, that could be game, set, match right then and there. So it's gonna be very crucial for these teams to not allow that to happen.
All right, give it up for Game 5, going into Game 5 with Zones.
Oh man, both these two teams are making a breakaway with the zone here to try and get the first initial advantage on their side. Gimme going in on the deep end to try and let's see what picks they can get before pulling out. And it is the junior that actually falls first here. Bonk going in on the deep end side, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. That is a triple splat for them as Perfection. A beautiful opening with a delayed wipeout.
Extremely strong start for Perfection here. Able to establish presence and have 3 specials up for response. This might be a quick match. Booyah coming out to fight the crab, and Reef coming out, able to establish zone and retake it, but Perfection's able to respond again, retake it.
Back and forth trades here now as Envy re-sliders in, gets the first zone flip on their side, gives a heavy amount of penalty points to Perfection and backs off as Perfection just holds these 2 bridges on their side. But Gimme still on top of at least one of them, harassing Perfection from above, doing what they can, but unfortunately does go down. And with Perfection control the zone, once again they're looking to try and get away with as many penalty points as they can.
Crab coming up on the side of Perfection is trying to get a pick and trying to establish space for the rest of the team. Doesn't get a ton of value, but does hold them back just a little bit longer. Booyah and Reef coming into zone is going to be a dastardly combo.
And once again, the reslider comes in, but Perfection was actually ready for it this time. They were preemptively painting the zone, and Kimmy did not capture the zone off of that. And it is a very huge loss on their side, but 2 down for Perfection means that Envy can potentially naturally get the zone back here as a co-op, push up, paint the zone, and push Perfection back as they get ready for their own lockout here.
We also just talk about that absolute skill diff, or that skill check from Sky on the Stamper kill there.
Oh man, these two teams right now are playing it slow, playing it steady to try and maintain the status quo. 1-for-1 trade from either side. Perfection slowly losing their lead gap bit by bit, and be trying to desperately keep control of the zone here. But it is DDoS here with the Junior just constantly putting paint after paint after paint. But unfortunately, they do back off here, give the zone to Envy as Perfection looking to try and regain once again as best they can.
We'll see how long Envy's able to hold this push and if it's enough to get them lead. You know, if they don't have specials, they might as well just pop the DDoSer. How about that?
With a good push here, Perfection does manage to reclaim the zone once again, giving a heavy amount of penalty points to Envy, but the gap has been closed considerably here. There is about a 16-point differential between these two teams right now, so it could still be anyone's game, but Perfection is looking to trying to make sure they maintain control as best they can. 2 down for Perfection, though, means that Envy can go a little bit on the advantage here and keep them pushed down as best they can.
Reef taking down 2. Carbon trying to get a pick, is able to actually get it.
It's huge swings on both sides.
Crab canceled again.
The status quo as best they can. Penalty points, though, importantly, is gone for Envy. Perfection has to move now if they don't want to lose out on this game, but they're being zoned out. 1 player down for Perfection, and his lead is lost. Envy has to make sure they can hold out as best they can here. Perfection moving as best they can. They contest the lead before the 1 point remaining, but it's not enough. Envy's able to take this 3rd game, take this set home, winning over Perfection.
Envy taking the set 3-2. Very, very close match there at the end. Able to make it back, and that's gonna be a GG's.
Man,
what a final match. Give it up for game 5.
Both of these two teams did very well tonight, putting up one heck of a show. Envy and Perfection really showing why they made it this far in the first place. But at the end of the day, it is Envy who's able to take this set home and take this SOS 196 gold today in Great Whites.
Give Perfection a round of applause for a great few matches here, but Envy is going to be your Great White champions for this week's SOS.
Oh man, a huge shout outs to Envy for doing what they did, and a huge shout outs for Perfection for doing what they did today. And man, oh man, it is always a good show here in SOS if you see a game 5 scenario this late at night. But with that being said and done, what extraordinary said it was, an extraordinary blockade it was. But with all good things though, they must eventually come to an end. So we'll be wrapping up here tonight, folks, as we say goodnight. Shark Beret, anything else you want to say or plug as we close things out?
All right, thank you for I'd like to thank IPL for honestly, this is my first time doing super big commentary, so thank you guys. Dark, do you have any socials you want to plug?
You can always find me at most social media websites at SPF Dark, but more often than not, you'll most likely hear my voice time and time again across the multiple organizations we have here in the community, either hiring IPL, Under Pressure, CCA, Dapple Productions. I'm literally all over the map. You'll most likely hear me time and time again.
If you, although I don't use it a lot, you can find me on sharkberet.bsky.social. Otherwise, you can find me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/sharkberet. I am planning on posting more often now that I have actually time to edit videos. But thank you guys so much for tuning into IPL, and good afternoon, good evening, and good night, gamers.